in the passing game because Jamarcus Russell has really come along and become productive. Dwayne Bowe has continued to improve, and he is the big play player that we always thought that he could be, and actually that he has always been when he's had an opportunity to play very much. So I think it's going to be an LSU victory if LSU simply chooses to win it. It's simple as that. LSU's the dominant team, Ole Miss with a lot of turmoil on their squad, and this is going to be an LSU win if LSU just makes up their mind to go out there and play good, hard LSU football.
Gary Morris. Gary is an award-winning singer and songwriter who has released 16
Now the Ole Miss band is still lined up on the field. You hear in the background the announcer who is introducing the singer who will sing the national anthem. And so as soon as the announcement ends and the song begins, we'll take it down to the field.
Well, it's Gary Morris, who is a very good singer.
And I will tell you, Jim Hawthorne, you hit it on the head that time. He is quite a singer, and what a great classic rendition of the national anthem, and you heard the roar of the crowd in response to it, and it really, I'll tell you, something about the national anthem at the beginning of an athletic contest. It really sets the tempo. It changes the attitude and changes the mood, and Gary Morris certainly did it tonight. What a wonderful way to start the formal part of this football game. And let me continue that by giving you the starting lineups for tonight's game. Those lineups are brought to you by Whitney Bank. It takes a Whitney banker. Whitney, member FDIC. Let me tell you about the Ole Miss Rebels starting lineups. The nose tackle, Michael Bozeman, another senior, 6'2", 290. The right end, Corvelli Haynes, another senior, 6'3", 255. At the linebacker spots, Kelvin Robinson, 6'1", 220 pounds at the weak side linebacker. The middle linebacker, number 49, Patrick Willis, 6'2", 230. He is the second leading solo tackler nationally and the leading tackler in the Southeastern Conference. You're going to hear his name an awful lot. He tackles in the Southeastern Conference. His totals are above 12 tackles a game. Over 8 tackles, 8.5 individual tackles average. That's by himself, solo tackles, to be second in the NCAA. And that's quite a feat by any linebacker, by any defensive player. The strong side linebacker, Gary Pack, a 6'1", 220-pound sophomore. So across the front, I mentioned the class because I wanted you to know the strength of the Ole Miss team is that defensive line and Patrick Willis at middle linebacker. They've got everything that they need to be a dominating defense. They just don't have much of an offense to go with it. In the secondary, at left corner, Travis Johnson. The safeties, Jamarcus Sanford and Charles Clark, and Tremaine McBride at the right cornerback. Captain's out on the sidelines waiting to go out to the middle of the field. The Ole Miss band is clearing the fields, and Jim, it's going to be an interesting start to this game to see which team, whoever wins the toss, how they choose to do it, how they choose to set the tempo, as the officials are starting to take the captains out to midfield now.
Well, here's something interesting. There's a motorcycle that is leading the Ole Miss football team out onto the field. You can do that when it's not real grass, I guess, but you can hear it. That's a pretty good-looking ride, pretty good-looking chopper. I'm not an expert about that. Almost ran over Jordy, but it's
ride with them.
It's a good-looking vehicle, and Ole Miss has come out onto the field now. The Tigers across the way are getting ready to make their appearance as the Ole Miss band is marching off the field towards the near sidelines. The near capacity house here tonight. Here come the Tigers out onto the field. We were told that every ticket was sold. It was just a matter of would they all show up, and most of them had. As one of the great Southern football rivalries and the history of collegiate football, LSU and Ole Miss, about to get underway here in Vaughn Hemingway Stadium. The LSU Fighting Tigers need a win here tonight and a win next Friday versus Arkansas in Tiger Stadium in order to play the Georgia Bulldogs and the Georgia Dome in Atlanta for the SEC Championship. That game will be played on December the 3rd. All right, the captains are headed out to midfield. Let's go down to Jordy.
Hi, Jim. Thank you very much. As the captains come out, Chris Jackson will once again make the call for the Tigers after they exchange handshakes. That was a nice-looking hog they had out here, by the way. And, Jim, you'd look good in that one of these years when you ride off into the sunset.
I could never do it.
Here we go, guys.
All right, LSU, you're the visitors. You're going to call it in the air. That's a heads. That's a tails. Call it in the air. If I drop it, we'll flip it again. The winner of the toss will get this commemorative coin.
Yes, sir.
Loud enough for him to hear you.
Tails.
All right, he called it tails. Is that correct? It is a heads. Captain, you've won the toss.
We defer.
You're going to defer. All right, Ole Miss defers. It's your choice.
Like the ball.
You're going to receive.
Yes, sir. Well, that's one of the few times that Chris Jackson, he always calls tails, and most of the time it comes up tails. This time it came heads. Ole Miss defers. LSU will take the football. They will go from south to north. Gentlemen, let's get a great start and maybe put this one to bed early.
Well, that would be good, and we will see what will take place. Ole Miss, very colorful tonight. They're wearing white pants with red jerseys. Half of the time they wear dark blue, but tonight they're wearing red and dark blue headgear. LSU in their traditional uniforms of yellow gold pants, white jerseys, purple numerals, and yellow gold headgear. Doug, did you want to finish up there?
Let me finish the lineups. Let me give you the LSU offensive lineup next, since the Tigers will be getting the football. Buster Davis at one wide receiver across the front offensively. Andrew Whitworth, Will Arnold, Rudy Neiswanger, Nate Livings, and Brian Johnson. David Jones, the tight end, or Keith Zinger. They interchange him. Dwayne Bowe on the other side caught the touchdown pass to beat Alabama last week. Jamarcus Russell at quarterback. Joseph Badiah set as a starting tailback, and Kevin Stelz at the fullback spot. For Ole Miss offensively, Tay Biddle at one wide out across the front offensively. Bobby Harris, Andrew Wicker, Darrell Harris, Michael O'Hare, and Trey Stallings. Jimmy Brooks, the tight end, 270 pounds at tight end, 6'4". The flanker, Mario Hill. The quarterback, Ethan Flatt, is scheduled to start. The running back they gave us originally was Larry Kendrick, but we're now told Robert Lane will be the starting tailback. At fullback, Jamal Pittman is the backup, and I imagine he'll move into the starting spot. Mike Espy will be the split back. LSU set out to receive on the south end. Ole Miss be kicking north end to south here to start the ball game. And here to give you the play-by-play, the voice of the Tigers, Jim Hawthorne.
Thank you very much, Doug. And a kickoff tonight is brought to you by Cintas, the uniform people, helping your business look and work better. Kicking it away is Will Mosley from left to right. Back deep to receive for LSU is Skylar Green, and that one is kicked back into the end zone and taken there by Xavier Carter, who was back there with Skylar. He'll take it in. The Tigers will start at their 20-yard line as we're underway here in Oxford. Tonight's ball game brought to you by our Team LSU partners, Cox Communications, your friend in the digital age. Oxner offers 27 neighborhood clinics throughout southeast Louisiana for when you need Oxner today, and by Verizon Wireless, the official wireless provider of the LSU Tigers. First and 10 LSU at their 20-yard line. Two receivers will flank out to the left. Joe Adai is the running back. And a split back formation. Russell under center. Here's the first offensive play of the ball game, and he hands it away to Adai. Comes to the outside and plows across the 25 up to about the 26-yard line. Adai, 137 rushes for 668 yards. 7 touchdowns. He's had only 8 carries for 26 yards in the last 3 games, and he's stopped by Robinson and Banks. Jamarcus Russell, 151 of 241 for 63%. 1,988 yards. He's thrown for 12 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. Second down and about 4 after a gain of 6. Two receivers flank to the right side. I formation. In the backfield, Russell, play action fake, back to throw, looks and does toss, and it is caught by Bo. Slips one receiver and another and goes down at the 45-yard line. First down, LSU, as Dwayne Bowe hauled it in on the far side of the field. Bowe leads LSU with 31 catches, now has 32. 548 yards prior to that one and 8 touchdowns, and Patrick Willis, the middle linebacker, made the stop.
Play action pass out of the I formation. Bowe to the right, ran it out. Ball was right there by Jamarcus Russell. Then Bowe shook the tackle and went upfield for additional yardage. First down, LSU, just inside their own 45-yard line.
Doucette flanks to the near side, and Davis on the right side. Doucette goes in motion, split back formation. Russell straight drop to throw. Bubble screen complete over on the near side, turning the corner, Adai, and he's out of bounds up after about a 3 or 4 yard gain. Short gain on the play. Actually, they say he went out of bounds at the 46. There was a gain of only about 1 as Gary Pack, the strong side linebacker, was over, beat the block, and disallowed Adai to turn it upfield. Second down and 9.
I'll tell you, this was close to being a big play, though. Jacob Hester was out front. He couldn't get outside position on the cornerback, but he had him pushed to the outside. If Adai had cut back inside, he had another blocker, early Doucette downfield, set up to make a block. He could have gone an awful long way.
Lone running back is Adai. Receivers on both sides. Here's Jones, the tight end, in motion. Russell under center and hands to Adai, and he is dropped for a loss behind the line of scrimmage at the 44-yard line, 46-yard line. Hit by Haynes. And the Tigers are looking at their first third down of the night. It'll be third down and long. LSU on third downs, 37% this year. Ole Miss allows 43%. That is the second worst percentage in the SEC. Third down and a little over 10. Two receivers right. Lone receiver is Davis, who flanks to the left. That's the near side of the field. And LSU will set up in the shotgun. There's the snap, and Russell drops the throw. Steps up in the pocket, has plenty of time. He does throw. It is caught, but it's going to be short of a first down. Skylar Green caught it, but he stopped around the 46-yard line.
Skylar Green was the inside receiver on the right. He ran a little sit-down squat pattern in the middle of the field. That's a good pattern, and that's a good open spot. He didn't go quite deep enough, though. Had he gone another 1.5 yards, he would have been in position that when he made the reception, he would have been past the marker. He made the reception, however, and didn't get there, so the Tigers will be punting it away fourth about 1.5 yards.
Chris Jackson averaging 42 yards per punt. High, wobbly spiral is going to hit the ground, and it takes a good LSU bounce and rolls down inside the 15. Mike Espy was back there to watch it roll dead. The Tigers touch it. That is a 33-yard punt, no return, and Ole Miss will start at their 14-yard line as LSU made a first down but then had to give it up, and the Rebs will have their first chance to run the football. 12-14 to play in the first quarter, and we are scoreless. Ethan Flatt is the quarterback. Larry Kendrick is the lone running back, and they send trip receivers to the left on 1st and 10 at the 14. Flatt under center. Hands it away to Kendrick, and he is racked up for a loss behind the line of scrimmage. As there was no place to go, he ran into Kyle Williams and Chase Pittman.
And, Jim, our inside information that Robert Lane would start at tailback was inside misinformation. Larry Kendrick, as shown on the probable starting roster, starts at tailback here in the first series for Ole Miss.
This is Flatt's third game. He's 31 of 54 for 390 yards. Lone receiver on the left, and he will throw it out there, and he's got him one-on-one, and he beats Chevis Jackson and gets a first down. He just left Chevis Jackson standing in his tracks.
Well, Mike Espy is a very fine and quick receiver. Senior, 6 feet, 195 pounds. A lot of experience, a lot of moves. Quick pass to the outside. He took the reception, faked Jackson to the inside, then cut back right around him, picked up about 14 yards. First down at the Ole Miss 33-yard line.
LaRon Landry had to come over and make the catch. 390 yards for Flatt. 1 touchdown. He's thrown for 2 interceptions. Receivers on both sides. Man in motion coming to the near side. Flatt under, play action fake, rolls and tosses a short screen pass to the near side, and across the 30, that's Lane on the carry. A flag goes down after the tackle was made, and I think Ole Miss is going to be flagged for holding at around the 33, 34-yard line. Ronnie Prude made the stop, but let's see what the flag is going to be.
Now this is Lane that came from the left side around on the snap. It was a bootleg action in the backfield. Lane came around from the wing on the left.
In the back, number 21 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat first down.
That's the fullback, Pittman. And so it'll move the ball back inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. And we'll bring up first down and 20. Espy, incidentally, has 40 catches. He leads the team in that category. Kendrick, 24 rushes for 56 yards. So far on the year. No score in the game. LSU and Ole Miss. First possession of the game for the Rebs. Receivers on both sides. I formation. Man in motion going towards the left side. Flatt, play action fake, will throw to a man wide open on the near side, and he fumbles the ball out of bounds. That's Lane again. And he got back all the penalty yards, knocked out of bounds on the near side of the field at about the 28-yard line. Ali Highsmith was there to make the stop, along with a couple of others. And it'll bring up second down now and about 10 or 11, depending upon where they put the ball down.
Lane at fullback, lined up at fullback, came out into the right flat. A tremendous block by Larry Kendrick, the tailback, behind him to cut down the rushing outside rusher for LSU and get his hands out of the air so the ball could be thrown on a low trajectory to Lane, who made the reception and picked up good yardage.
Ole Miss sets up the wedge triple formation on the left side and a lone receiver on the right. Flat under center. Hands the ball away and pulling a tackle only back to about the line of scrimmage on the carry is Larry Kendrick. And that is it. Ali Highsmith was there to make the stop, along with Jesse Daniels. Let's check in quickly with Jordy.
Boy, quickly is the word. I knew you could see it from up there. Claude Roten just got rid of his man so quickly, almost had the quarterback before he handed off on the draw. So quick.
Third down and 10. Ole Miss is 34% on third down conversion. LSU allows just 31%. Receivers on both sides, split back formation, man in motion left. Flat fell down. Now, I have seen that before in this stadium. That looks exactly like what Eli Manning did the last time we were here. He started back and just fell flat on his rear end, and it'll be fourth down.
And for exactly the same reason, when that quarterback comes out, he's got to step back with one foot or the other, and if the guard on the other side steps back, he oftentimes steps on the quarterback's foot. That's what happened to Flatt's left foot. He got his toe stepped on, and as he tried to pull it out, he couldn't, obviously, and so he went down.
And here's Park to punt it away from the 10. It is a low, wobbly spiral, and it's going to bound and is picked up by Skylar Green, and Green returns it back to about the 43-yard line. Park averaging 37.9. And that was a 38-yard punt. 39-yard punt, and Skylar returned it to about the 42, and there's timeout on the field. 9 minutes and 14 seconds left to play in the first quarter. No score. LSU and Ole Miss on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
The Dr. Pepper SEC Fanfare is the place to experience the fun and excitement of the SEC Football Championship game. Fanfare features the Timeout Grill and the SEC Championship Superstore, along with favorite attractions like the Press Box Stage, the SEC TV Experience, and the Celebrity Quarterback Challenge. Located in Hall C of the World Congress Center, Fanfare is just a short walk from the Georgia Dome. So be a part of the SEC Championship experience at the Dr. Pepper SEC Fanfare.
Aaron Meredith made the world's highest student score on the Certified Internal Auditor exam.
Jacob Landry is the recipient of the prestigious Harry S. Truman Scholarship.
Lisette Oropesa is a national winner of the Metropolitan Opera competition.
Amaka Agachukwu was awarded the preeminent Goldwater Scholarship.
Tam Nguyen participated in research funded by the Howard Hughes Medical Institute.
LSU. Mind power. At work for you.
No score. We have 9 minutes and 14 seconds left to play in the first quarter here in Oxford, Mississippi. LSU and Ole Miss going at it. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the LSU Sports Radio Network. LSU will have it first and 10 at their 42-yard line as we resume play in a scoreless first quarter here in Oxford. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by your Southern Quality Ford dealers, where you can test drive the full lineup of Ford trucks, SUVs, and cars, including the redesigned 2006 Ford Explorer and the all-new 2006 Ford Fusion. Stop by and test drive one today. Marcus Russell leads the Tigers up to the line of scrimmage. Receivers on both sides. And a lone running back. That's Joe Adai, who stays in there. Russell under center, looks over the line of scrimmage. And drops straight back to throw on first down, and does. And he threw it too low at the foot of Dwayne Bowe. Somebody may have gotten a hand on that and rearranged the flight of the football, because Bowe was open and it hit him in the ankle.
Got batted along the way. Bowe was split out to the left. The pass was thrown, batted down by number 77 for the Ole Miss Rebels, Mitchell. And that, as you said, adjusted the flight of the ball so that Bowe had no chance at the reception.
Two receivers right and one left. Adai, the lone running back, on second down and 10. Here is Jones in motion, coming to the near side, and a handoff to Adai. They're trying to seal the corner, and he cuts it back up the middle, has some running room, and is up close to a first down in Ole Miss territory. And around the 48-yard line, if they spot it down there, I believe he's got the first down. Boykin and Mitchell combined to make the stop for the red-jerseyed Ole Miss Rebels. Good to see Joe Adai running like that again.
And a good block by David Jones on the left side. He pushed his tackler, his defender, about 7 or 8 yards downfield, and he's really the one that created the gap for Adai to run into to pick up the first down.
Now Buster Davis flanks out to the right. Skylar Green and Dwayne Bowe flank left. That's to the near side. And on first and 10, out of the shotgun, here is the handoff to Green on the end around. And Skylar's got a little running room down to about the 41-yard line. That one looked like it might turn into a little bit more than that, but Ole Miss's defense adjusted well, and he got about 4 or 5 yards on the carry. Pack and Mitchell combined for the stop.
An inside handoff. Green was flanked to the left side at the snap. This is out of the shotgun. Russell took the snap. Green crossed his face, and Russell just handed him the ball forward. Green took it around the right side to pick up about 5.
Davis to the right, Bowe to the left. Adai, the running back. Bowe goes in motion, and Russell tosses the ball to Adai, and Adai is stopped after a very short gain at about the 39-yard line. Third down, and the Tigers are going to need a long 3 here. Pack and Bozeman made the stop for the Rebs. 7:40 to go in the first quarter. No score here in Oxford.
This is either a variation or Adai ran the wrong hole. Jacob Hester was in the slot on the left. Dwayne Bowe split out left. It looked like it was a toss to Adai, and it looked like a sweep. All the blockers went to the outside. Adai cut it back in to the inside, really with no hole there. Picked up about 2.
Shotgun formation. 2 receivers right and 1 left. Adai, the running back. There's the snap of the ball. Russell, a short drop, looks to throw, and my goodness, he threw it up into the Tiger bench way over the head of the intended receiver, Skylar Green, on the far side. That one just got away from him. That was uncatchable. Let's go down to Jordan.
And the coaching staff is pointing to tight end David Jones, who was wide open on a curl. That was the old tunnel vision. He looked at Skylar the whole way, didn't survey the field.
And threw it about 15 or 20 feet over his head. Here is Chris Jackson standing back to punt it away. Around the LSU 47-yard line, Mike Espy is back deep for Ole Miss. And another good job by Jackson, and it is kicked down around the 10-yard line. That's not a bad. Now the official saying it went out of bounds at the.
Well, it did go out of bounds at the 1, but the other officials saw it touched. That's right. I think Ronnie
Prude. You can't fault Prude for that either, because he wanted to make sure it didn't make it into the end zone, and so he hustled down the touching
at the spot at the 11. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 11.
Yeah, I don't know that Prude was actually trying to touch it so much as the ball hit right by him, and I think it bounced off of his foot and skittered then over the ground right out at the 1-yard line. One of the officials saw the one, spotted it. The other one saw that Prude had touched it and properly called it out at the 11-yard line.
6:56 to go in the quarter. Timeout, no score on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Football fans love to see the LSU Tigers hit the field like a hurricane. Did you know that the LSU Hurricane Center has the largest collection of hurricane researchers in the world? Research expertise includes remote sensing of storms, hurricane climatology, wind and flood effects on the coastal environment, and access to services for disaster victims. Learn more about the LSU Hurricane Center at hurricane.lsu.edu. LSU has a great game plan on and off the field.
Hey, Tiger fans, can't be on campus on game day? Follow all the action on the internet this season in the Go Zone, the new and improved premium access site on LSUsports.net. Get enhanced LSU game day coverage, pick from hundreds of hours of video archives, and don't miss a minute of live online action, only in the Go Zone. Visit LSUsports.net to subscribe, or write to LSU Sports at LSU.edu for details. Join the Go Zone today on the official website for LSU Athletics, LSUsports.net.
6:56 to go in the first quarter. Ole Miss will have it at their 11-yard line. Walk-On's Bistro and Bar, located in the shadows of Tiger Stadium on the corners of Nichols and Burbank, has a special for each day of the week. Monday is $5 pitchers for the game. Tuesday is kids eat free and 2-for-1 martinis. Wednesday is the Coach Les Miles Show. Thursday through Saturday is live music. Sunday is 2-for-1 draft and 2-for-1 margaritas until 5 p.m. Come on out and see us Wednesday night prior to your Thanksgiving celebrations and Walk-Ons. And don't forget that John Brady's show starts at Walk-Ons a week from Monday, and Pokey Chapman's show starts a week from Tuesday. LSU will wrap up the regular season in Tiger Stadium next Friday afternoon against the Arkansas Razorbacks. Big winners today.
That's your favorite game, isn't it, Jim? Favorite game that Friday afternoon.
Love that Friday after Thanksgiving. Yeah. Yeah, you love it so much, you're not even going to be with us.
Well, I'm sorry. I hate to miss any game. I enjoy broadcasting games with you.
Well, I miss you when you're not there. Receivers on both sides and a lone running back. Flat is the quarterback. And he has changed the play. Came out from under center, changed the play. And there's movement in the line and contact in the line, and flags go down. I think that number 75, Bobby Harris, moved first, I believe.
Yeah, he's the one that moved. He's probably saying the LSU guys drew him, but they didn't. I think he got kind of antsy. The snap was taking a while.
Dead ball foul. False start, number 75 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. It's still first down.
And it'll move the ball back to the 6-yard line. And it'll be 1st and 15 for Ole Miss.
1st and 15 for Rebels.
This Ole Miss will wrap it up with the Egg Bowl next week against Mississippi State. I formation. Nobody is flanked out. Kendrick and Pittman in the backfield. And Flat tosses it to Pittman, I believe, and he goes down at the 4-yard line. That's Kendrick. Kendrick on the carry.
And Chase Pittman
has leveled him at the 4-yard line.
Well, this is a toss sweep to Kendrick. He's deep at the tailback spot in the I formation. He gets the pitch. Going around the left end, Chase Pittman, blew up the entire left offensive side. He came upfield and made the tackle in the backfield and tacked on another 1.5 yards or so of loss to the previous play penalty. So Ole Miss was second, about 16 yards to go here for the first down.
Lone receiver on the right side, Kendrick is the running back, and they toss the ball to him, and he's stopped at the 1-yard line. He just barely got out of the end zone, trying to go around the left side.
Kenneth Hollis and Chevis Jackson in there. I think Kenneth Hollis is the guy that made the big lick, but the right side of the LSU defense all in there. Tremendous defensive effort by the Tigers, and Ole Miss loses another 4 yards.
Yeah, Cameron Vaughn was also in on the play, and the ball is right between the goal line and the 1 yard line. It's third down and about 20. One more play like that, and the Tigers will have points on the board. I formation, receivers on both sides. Man in motion to the near side. Flat. Almost fell down. He did drop the ball, and he fell on it in the end zone. That's a safety.
Boy, I tell you, these Ole Miss fans, they're not happy. Flat once again got his left foot stepped on as he tried to pull away from the center. Flat's got to learn to step with that left foot first, because he keeps stepping back with his right foot, and he keeps his left foot there. The guard stepped on his foot again. He lost his balance, and he tried to keep himself upright, but he did not. Went down, dropped the ball. He had to recover it, but it's a safety. LSU leading 2-0, and
tell you what, though,
Ole Miss punted it away.
He was lucky to get his own fumble back, because Melvin Oliver was right there, ready to pounce on it, and Flat got it back. We'll take a timeout. 5:27 to go in the first quarter. LSU leads it 2-0 on the safety here on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Avita Springs Water Company owes its success to the people of the Gulf Coast. Our naturally good bottled water has been delivered to their doorsteps for decades, and this is why Avita Springs Water will do its part to help rebuild the economy by continuing to operate in all areas affected by Hurricane Katrina. Sufficient supplies of bottled water are important during these times because other sources may have been compromised by storm damage. Remember, the Avita man can. Contact him at any of our branches throughout the South by visiting AvitaSprings.com for local phone numbers.
On this edition of the Ford Fan Guide, Frontier Justice Expedition Style.
Seated inside Expedition today is Tim Dupay, the referee who blew a game for us last year.
What?
So, Tim, did you know the optional power fold third row you're sitting in right there folds flat at the push of this button?
No, I didn't know that.
Yes, the power fold third row.
Turn it off.
It's a good call.
Don't be a fan without a Ford. See your local Southern Quality Ford dealer today for a great deal on Expedition.
Warning, do not use the power fold third row with passengers on third row, even if they are referees.
Rob Park is going to punt it away for Ole Miss following the safety. Let's go down quickly to Jordy.
Well, Ole Miss only had 10 yards of rushing last week against Arkansas, so they became a passing team. My question now is that they can't get the quarterback back into the pocket to pass. What kind of team did they become? And that's a little sarcasm there, guys. And the second thing, if there's any question about E.J. Quali's ankle, 2 plays before, he had to run off the field because they made a defensive adjustment. He covered 40 yards in about 3.2 seconds, so he wouldn't get a flag for too many people on the field. His ankle is GTG. Good to go.
To go.
Absolutely.
Right. But he pulled a hamstring.
No, he's good. He's good. Larry Ferracci, our orthopedic surgeon, standing on the sideline, and he saw him eyeball to eyeball, and he was, he was ready for him.
Chiron Carey and Skylar Green are back deep to receive for LSU when we return to play, as Park will punt it away, has to punt it from the 20-yard line following the safety. 2-0 LSU. All right, here's the punt. And it's a good one, and it's in the direction of Green, and he's got it at the 28, the 30, 35. He's at the 40, cuts it to the outside 45, and runs out of bounds and up around midfield and Ole Miss territory at around the 48-yard line on the far side of the field. That was a 23-yard return by Skylar Green. Run out of bounds by Jamarcus Sanford on the far side. And LSU will set up in good position, 1st and 10 at the Rebel 48-yard line.
And the way LSU's got to look at this is that their defense not only got 2 points, but gave them field position on a turnover at the 48-yard line of Ole Miss. Now's the time to take it on in.
Receivers on both sides and straight I formation. Joe Adai, the running back. Russell under center. Justin Vincent is in at running back. Play action fake, and Russell throws as he's going down incomplete. He ran right in to a defender who was coming from the far side and did a good job to just get that one away. There is a flag on the play. Justin Vincent, 77 carries, 354 yards. The last 3 games he's gotten 225 yards on 48 carries and 3 touchdowns. Haynes and Boykin in on the stop, but that's going to be a penalty against LSU, a holding penalty, and even they couldn't even stop him by holding him, Doug.
Holding, number 68 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat first down.
So he held him, and he still got to Russell, and he had to throw it away.
Well, they get the down over, though, and LSU, you know, the passing game that LSU normally utilizes successfully is a pretty deep passing game. So 10 yards really is not much for them if they decide that that's the way they want to try to get this.
Second down and 20-plus. Receivers on both sides, lone running back, and the handoff is to Vincent, and he's going to go down for another loss.
However, that was not a long pass there, was it?
No, he handed it off to Vincent, and he ran right into Boykin behind the line of scrimmage, and Tigers are going the wrong way.
Well, that's the strength of Ole Miss's defense. Boykin stepped around the blocker who was trying to block him and got into the backfield. Very fine defensive play right at the point of attack to throw Vincent for about a 3-4 yard loss.
Yeah, second down and about 23. 2 receivers left and 1 right. Now the Tigers will go out of the shotgun. Vincent is back there with Jamarcus Russell. There's the snap. Russell drops the throw. He's being rushed again. The screen is complete on the near side. Needs a block. Comes to the outside. Didn't get much. Vincent goes down up around the 45, a gain of only about 5 on the play, and it's going to be third down, and the Tigers still need almost 20 yards.
Good pursuit by Ole Miss's defense. Vincent lined up at the left half, stepped inside, then went out into the left flat on a screen pass. LSU had blockers out in front. The timing was not exactly right, and Vincent continued toward the sidelines instead of trying to cut it up inside after setting a block up, and he was held to about a 5-yard gain. Big play for LSU coming up, third and about 16.
Third and 16, 2 receivers right and 1 left out of the shotgun. Vincent is back there along with Russell. Tiger offense having a hard time getting started. Russell drops the throw, and he does, and it is caught by, no, it's dropped by Bo. Well, he had it, and it was stripped away by Travis Johnson, and the LSU defense just not able to push the starter button yet.
Well, you know, Bo ran a deep in on the pass. Russell threw it up a little high. Bo went up, and he got it in his hands, and in the process of pulling it down, the defender, Travis Johnson, stripped it away from him. Very fine defensive play. Bo was going to make the reception and would have picked up pretty close to the first down, probably a little short.
All right, here's Chris Jackson standing back around the 31-yard line. Espy standing around the Ole Miss 18. And a kick is away. It's a good high hanging wobbly spiral. Fair catch called for and taken at the 16-yard line. So the Tigers are keeping them backed up. 38 yards on the punt with no return. Ole Miss has started at their 14, their 11, and their 16. Tiger defense has gotten 2 points, but the offense has not been able to do very much. 4:04 to play in the first quarter. 2-0 LSU leads.
LSU's offense not really sharp yet. They've had some opportunities. A penalty set them back on that drive. They've misfired a couple of times. Dwayne Bowe, the victim of a nice defensive play after making a very nice reception on it.
Man in motion going to the left side. Play action fake. Flat is rolling to the far side, and he throws it incomplete. Up around the 38-yard line, Ronnie Prude defending. The pass was intended for number 7, Tay Biddle, I believe. Might have been Mario Hill, number 87. That was a pretty good fake by Flat. It was intended for Hill. Yeah, Mario Hill. Second down and 10. Ole Miss from the 17-yard line.
Laron Landry on the blitz got caught inside. Had he maintained the proper angle, he would have hit Flat right in the chops when Flat turned to the left.
Lone receiver on the left side. He dropped the ball again, and I think he got the recovery again. Flat dropped it again, but he is lucky as he can be because he was able to fall on it again. And it'll bring up third down and about 12 just inside the 15-yard line.
Well, Flat is very aware of being stepped on, so now he's trying to get it out. In fact, he stepped back with his left foot that time, but he's trying to pull out faster, and he pulled out before the ball got to his hands. That's a problem when you start getting into that routine where you cannot have a clean exchange or you get stepped on by the guard. You give him some tennis shoes so he doesn't cleat you to death on the toes, and at least you can get back and throw the football.
Now, timeout is going to be called by Ole Miss with 3:10 to play in the first quarter. We have a timeout with LSU leading the Ole Miss Rebels 2-0. This is the LSU Sports Radio Network.
I've had to remove children from cars that were killed by drunk drivers. I've also removed mothers and fathers and brothers and sisters.
Louisiana State Trooper Matt Senanan.
After seeing people's lives get ruined, you want to do everything you can to make sure that every time you make a traffic stop and someone's intoxicated, you take them off the street.
If you drink and drive, you'll lose in Louisiana.
You're out, you're drinking, you're driving, and you run across me, you're going to go to jail.
A message from the Louisiana Highway Safety Commission.
Imagine a world without Cintas uniforms. The repair shop.
Oh, hello. Hey, I need you to look at my car. Whenever I go over a bump, the whole thing is like a... And when I try to start it, it turns over at least 4 or 5 times. It just keeps going. Any ideas?
Dude, I just stocked the vending machines.
Put your staff in Cintas uniforms and your business will get instant identity. Cintas can handle any uniform need for any business. Call 1-800-CINTAS-1 or visit Cintas.com today. Cintas, the uniform people.
Not a lot of offense taking place so far tonight. Ole Miss has minus 12 yards running, LSU 22. And it is third down at about 13. 2 receivers on both sides. Flat drop straight back to throw and has plenty of time and does throw it. Bounces into the air, incomplete, in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, I think, was Tay Biddle.
Mike Espy, I believe.
No.
Number 11, Espy, right across the middle. Plenty of time to throw it by Flat and threw it. And Espy tried to grab it with his arms rather than catch it with his hands. It was a hard thrown pass. Down the middle, bounced high in the air. He's fortunate it didn't get intercepted.
All right, Park will stand back around the 1-yard line to punt it away, which he does. The boy, he's hit a good one, and Schuyler may have a shot at this one. He takes it and gets a block and heads downfield and is still on his feet into Ole Miss territory, right about where he was last time. And around the 48-yard line, and the Tigers offense will try to crank it up there. Let's go down quickly to Jordy.
Well, Jim, Doug, I think you might enjoy this. I've been talking to some of the Ole Miss people, and I said, what's up with Ethan Flat? Why is he falling down so much? And they just said succinctly, he's a klutz. He is a klutz. I said, is that the best you've got? They go, yeah, that's why we only score about 10 points a game. So even the Ole Miss people are saying, the guy, it's not the center's fault. It's not the turf's fault. He's just a klutz. I quote. So.
All right, thank you for that information. I formation, 2 receivers left. Jamarcus Russell under center. Play action fake. He's back to throw. Rolls to the far side. And he does throw. And it is caught by Buster Davis at the 15-yard line. Nice job by Russell to roll away from trouble. And Buster Davis got open down around the 15. And that resulted in a 32-yard play.
Well, I'll tell you, out of the I formation of play action, a fake, and Russell rolled back and then to the right as he felt a little bit pressure. He saw Buster Davis cutting across the field left to right, and on the run, he laid it in there softly right in the midst of a bunch of people where Buster Davis was open. Davis made the reception, and the defender who was trying to cover Davis down there, or at least involved in the contact, Travis Johnson, I think, took a pretty good lick on the turf as he went down, and he's still down there as they're tending to it.
Let's go to Jordy.
No, I don't know their names. Number 9 and number 38 both hit each other as Buster Davis caught the ball down low. They hit above him, and that's why he is down. Looks like it's a leg problem. 38 is back up, but they both kind of collided into one another.
Well, that can hurt. And it was Robinson and Johnson who were involved in the play, and number 9, Johnson, a 6'1", 190-pound senior, is being helped off the field. That was another one of those catches that Buster Davis had reviewed 3 times in last week's game against Alabama.
He has the ability to go down low, keep his hands under the ball, catch it with his hands. I mean, he's really an exceptional receiver.
LSU, incidentally, has scored 27 of the 30 times it's been in the red zone this year. That's 90%. Best in the SEC. 21 touchdowns and 6 field goals. 1st and 10 LSU at the 15 of Ole Miss. Receivers on both sides. Here's Zinger in motion. Lone running back is Vincent. Russell under center. Long count. Hands it to Vincent, and he worked hard and got some positive yardage after it looked like he may be stopped for a loss. Got down inside the 15 to about the 12-yard line. Willis and Mitchell in on the stop, and that was a nice job by Justin Vincent because that looked like that was going to be a no-gainer. Let's go down to Jordy.
Well, on that play, Justin Vincent, just like good running backs do, never stopped moving his feet. And on the play before, that was the secondary option for Jamarcus Russell. He was trying to get Zinger out in the flat, progressed down the field, and saw Buster wide open. He's maturing.
Yes, he is. 2 receivers left. This is Davis in motion now. And again, a handoff to Vincent trying to come outside at the 10. He's fighting hard down to the 5, and I believe has the first down. Coming to the short side, the near side of the field, and he was ganged up on there. Willis made the stop along with McBride, the cornerback. Might be a little bit short of a first down, but not by much.
But that's the old Justin Vincent, though. The carry was around the left end. He was headed towards the sideline. He saw that he was not going to be able to turn the corner, so he put his head down, just turned it straight up, ran through a couple of tacklers to get right at the stick. He's just a couple inches short.
Both teams are 0 for 3 on third down attempts so far in the game. Lone receiver out on the right side, out of the I formation. Hand off to Vincent, straight ahead. He got the first down, but then he got thrown back.
Great tackle by Patrick Willis. I'm telling you, the guy is the top tackler in the conference for a good reason. A perfect form tackle right up the middle where he picked up Justin Vincent, threw him flat down on his back, but not before Vincent picked up the first down.
And it is 1st and goal to go for LSU. He almost got a flag, too, for a celebration. The official ran up to him and...
He's entitled to celebrate that. I tell you, that's a great tackle. That's a great play by that youngster.
Lone receiver on the right side out of the I formation. 1st and goal for LSU. Russell tosses it out to Vincent, trying to turn the corner far side. And he only gets to the 4, and that is it. 2nd and goal from the 4. That's probably going to be the last play of the first quarter. Willis and Mitchell combine to make the stop for the Revs. There's 14 seconds left on the clock, and that will tick off. And we will go to the second quarter of play here at Paul Hemingway Stadium in Oxford, Mississippi, with the score LSU 2, Ole Miss nothing, Tigers threatening when we return on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Dear Mr. H2O, it's time for us to become reacquainted. Time to dive into every day and every cooler, filled with the signature taste of Budweiser.
I hit the water and my worries drift away. I think it's gonna be a great, great day.
Budweiser beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
This fall, Cox Sports Television turns your living room into the best seat in the house for college football. Each weekend, catch live college games from all over, live score updates, CST Tonight's hour-long wrap-up on Saturday, LSU, Southern, and Alabama replays on Sunday, plus coaches shows from across the South. Check your local cable provider for specific CST channels or visit CoxSportsTV.com. Catch all the college football action this fall on Cox Sports Television.
Ochsner patients in Baton Rouge can be certain that Ochsner has intensified its efforts so that your health care continues uninterrupted. As an Ochsner patient, your medical records are available at any Ochsner clinic, and 4 Ochsner clinics are open and operating in Baton Rouge. If you're not presently an Ochsner patient, the convenience and expertise of Ochsner is available to you too. Call 225-761-5200. Ochsner accepts all major health plans.
All right, it is 2-0. LSU leading Ole Miss, but the Tigers are 2nd and goal just inside the 4-yard line. In the first quarter, the Tigers got 99 yards and 4 first downs. They had 66 passing, 33 running. Ole Miss got 12 total yards and 1 first down. They got 24 passing, but they lost 12 running. And you would think with those stats that the score would be read a little differently than it does right now, but Tigers have a chance to do something with that as they line up 2nd and goal to go just inside the 4-yard line. Lone receiver is Bo, flanking out to the left side. Vincent is the running back out of the I formation. And the Tigers are headed towards the south end zone, and that's where all the Ole Miss student body is located, and they're making some noise down there. Vanderbilt beat Tennessee today, and that's going to keep Tennessee from being bowl eligible for the first time in a long time. Let's go down to Jordy.
That means only 6 SEC schools go into bowl games, right?
I was thinking 7, but you may be right. I was just kind of casually thinking about it.
So there goes your raise, Jim.
What have I got to do with that?
All those bowls, that money comes to you.
Oh, I didn't know that. Where have they been putting it?
In your
the new press box.
In the new press box.
Well, it is well hidden there. Lone receiver, left eye formation. 2nd and goal from the 4-yard line. Russell under center. Play action fake. He wants to throw and does, and it is almost intercepted. He tried to hit Bo, and it was almost picked off by Willis.
I'm telling you, that's a dangerous pass there. Play action. Dwayne Bowe was split to the left. He ran a square in. Russell made a fake. Saw Bowe coming to the inside, but he didn't see Willis, who had dropped back and was crossing the other direction, who got his hand on the ball, was not able to make the interception, but very, very dangerous, and would have turned the momentum around immediately had Willis been able to hang on to the football, because he had an open field to turn it up and go the entire distance.
Bowe and Doucette flank to the left. Davis to the right. Pinson is back there with Russell out of the shotgun. There's the snap. Play action fake and a lob to Davis. Touchdown to the back of the end zone. Boy, great touch on that little lob pass right in the back of the end zone, and Davis caught it, came down with both feet in the end zone, and the Tigers lead it 8-0.
Now that's an NFL pass. I'm going to tell you, Buster Davis was split out to the right. He got to the inside of the cornerback, but the corner had the angle on him. What Jamarcus Russell did, rather than fire it in there where it could have been knocked down, he lofted it over the hands of the defender just inside the end line where Davis could go up and make the reception.
Cole David to try to tack on the extra point, and he does. And that's hard to believe, but that was Buster Davis's first touchdown catch of the year. 14:50 to go in the half. LSU now leads Ole Miss 9-0 on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Hey, Tiger fans, show your Tiger pride and keep LSU beautiful on game day. Here are 4 easy ways you can help. Mike likes a clean yard, so be sure to use the LSU trash bags and litter cans. Save our oak trees. Don't park on the roots. Keep our families safe. Leave glass at home. And put your aluminum cans in the LSU recycling bins. LSU is a leader in game day recycling efforts. Let's all work together to keep LSU beautiful. Thanks, Tiger fans.
The Southeastern Conference will return to the Georgia Dome for the 2005 SEC Football Championship game. This exciting event began in 1992, and you can be a part of this special event as festivities begin December 2nd and culminate with the 2005 Championship game December 3rd in Atlanta. Don't miss the Dr. Pepper SEC Fanfare, the Hyatt Regency Atlanta Coaches Luncheon, and the SEC Legends Dinner presented by Alltel as the SEC celebrates the tradition of the football championship game.
Well, the Tigers with 47 yards in 8 plays used 3:59 on the clock, and it was Davis with a 4-yard touchdown catch. As many passes as Buster Davis has caught, it's hard to believe that was his first of the year and only his second of his career. It's hard to believe.
It is, but it's only because Dwayne Bowe's the one that catches all the touchdown passes. But Buster Davis makes a lot of big-time receptions, and that was one. But thanks to the pass by Jamarcus Russell, I mean, a really fine execution on an important play. The previous play, Ole Miss almost intercepted it and could have gone the distance for the score. Ole Miss has a little inkling that they have a chance to hang in the ball game. That pass and reception takes that away from them. It's 9-0 now, and Ole Miss is deflated after making a really fine defensive play. That's what you have to do in a game like this. You come back and you negate all of the good defensive plays that they make with a better offensive play the following play. LSU, ready to go now. I mean, the guys are fired up. This is like second half against Alabama last week.
All right, and Chris Jackson will kick it away for the Tigers from left to right. Back deep for the Rebs is number 2, Burnell Wallace, and number 11, Mike Espy. 9-0. LSU leads it on a touchdown, an extra point, and a safety. Tigers coming into the ball game 8-1 overall, and the Ole Miss Rebs 3-6. All right, Jackson advances on the ball and hits it, and this one's going to come up short. It's taken at about the 8-yard line, 10, 15, and down at the 15-yard line. As Espy on the return.
He's tackled on the play by number 24.
And they will set up shot. I'll tell you what, Ole Miss has started at their 14, the 11, the 16, and this one will be at the 16. Kieron Gordon was down to make the stop, I believe, for LSU. So, to say the least, the Rebs have not enjoyed really good field position. Receivers on both sides and a lone running back. Flat continues in at quarterback. Man in motion coming to the near side. And Flat back to throw. Does throw incomplete over on the near side. He missed the outstretched arms of the intended receiver, Mario Hill, up around the 17-yard line. And it'll bring up second down and 10.
Well, not much of a pass. Ethan Flatt having kind of a tough night. Mario Hill ran a pattern about 3 yards into the sideline, and Flatt missed him by a couple of yards wide of the mark.
Kendrick is the lone running back, and the Rebs send trip receivers right. That's to the far side of the field. Flatt throws it out there, and it is incomplete, in and out of the hands again of Espy, I believe. And let's pause 10 seconds quickly for station identification on the LSU Sports Radio Network. Flatt is 0 for his last 4, and it is third down and 10 now for the Rebs at their 16-yard line. Moving from right to left. Lone receiver on the right side in the triple wedge formation on the left. Straight back is Flatt to throw, and it's complete on the far side of the field, and he comes to the near side and is finally down at the 10-yard line for about a 6-yard loss on the play.
You know, it looked like at one point that although LSU had the screen pass covered on the right side, that he was going to be able to cut it back around the left side and pick up yardage, but the pursuit of LSU's entire defense, I'm telling you, the last several series, LSU really has come to play on defense, and that time Chevis Jackson maintained his coverage, and boy, just a great tackle for the loss.
Park will try to punt it out of the end zone again. Schuyler standing at midfield, and there's a kick, and it's a good one. Green takes it at midfield, looks for some place to go. There's not a whole lot, and he goes down at the 45-yard line. That was a 39-yard punt, and Schuyler ran it back 5, and LSU has had tremendous starting field position. I told you where Ole Miss has started. LSU has started at their 20, their 42, the Ole Miss 48, and now they will start at the Ole Miss 45. Time out of the ball game. 13:42 to go in the half. LSU 9, Ole Miss nothing on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Your connection to LSU sporting events is the Tiger Ticket Office, located in the main lobby of the Athletic Administration Building. Advanced ticket sales to all events are available from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, on both a season and single game basis. For complete seating and price information, call the LSU Ticket Office at 225-578-2184 or toll free 1-800-960-8587 and see the Tigers in action whenever you can.
Hey, Tiger fans, can't be on campus on game day? Follow all the action on the internet this season in the Go Zone, the new and improved premium access site on LSUsports.net. Get enhanced LSU game day coverage, pick from hundreds of hours of video archives, and don't miss a minute of live online action, only in the Go Zone. Visit LSUsports.net to subscribe, or write to LSU Sports at LSU.edu for details. Join the Go Zone today on the official website for LSU Athletics, LSUsports.net.
LSU first and 10 at the Ole Miss 45-yard line. The Rebs have managed a total of 7 yards offensively thus far in the ball game. LSU leads it 9-0. We have 13:42 to go in the first half. Georgia Tech is leading Miami in the second quarter 7-0. The biggest new name in trucks is at your Nissan dealer. The full-size Nissan Titan featuring a 305 horsepower, 5.6-liter V8 that hauls up to 9,500 pounds with a big tow package. The 2005 Nissan Titan. Think big at your local Nissan dealer and experience the Titan for yourself. Let's go down to Jordy.
Ask Kevin Ford back in studio control. What's the temperature now?
You don't want to know.
God.
Just make it worse for you, buddy.
40.
Yeah.
41.
Well, that's the wind chill.
Feels a lot colder than that.
We know. We let him know that you're really loving it.
Oh,
just playing a game with him.
I love this stuff.
Yeah, you're letting everybody in the country know how much you love it.
I do. Glad to be here. Let's get a touchdown. Come on.
Receivers on both sides. Joe Adai is the lone running back. Russell under center, 1st and 10 at the Red 45-yard line. Play action fake. Deep drop by Russell to throw. Lots of time. Now he's going to run, and he can run a long way. Going to run over somebody, and he's very close to a first down at about the 35-yard line. He ran over Truman McBride and then fell down. How would you like to have that big guy with a full head of speed running at you?
And he made it a point to try to run over. I don't know that I like that, but I want to tell the guy, look, slide in, because although you want to hurt him, which you did, we don't want to hurt you. We don't want you to trip over his face mask and sprain your ankle. So you got to save your quarterback, but Jamarcus Russell is becoming bolder and bolder.
6'6", 255. You can be pretty bold when you're that big. Receivers on both sides, second and just inches. I formation, toss to Adai. Adai's got the first down and a whole lot more. He goes down at the 25-yard line. 1st and 10 for LSU. Joe Adai coming over the offensive right side, pulled down by Patrick Willis.
Toss sweep out of the I formation to the right side. And what a terrific block, I think, by Nate Livings on the outside defender to really open the hole up for Adai to cut up inside and pick up the big yardage. LSU with the ball at the 25-yard line. 1st down.
Bowen Davis will flank left. Joe Adai and Stelz in the backfield, and the I formation at the Ole Miss 25-yard line, moving towards the southern end zone to our right. Play action fake. Russell steps up and whips it, and it is batted into the air and almost intercepted again. Russell doesn't seem to have good peripheral vision tonight.
Yeah, he threw it the wrong place. He threw it to the outside receiver, and that time the corner was dropping off in coverage underneath. That time he didn't look for him. He had 2 receivers on the inside of the field in shorter patterns who were both open, uncovered by any defender, and Jamarcus Russell will learn over time to look for those guys and make sure of the sure completion.
He was zeroed in on Bowen. It was almost picked off by McBride. 2nd and 10. 2 receivers left and 1 right. Lone running back, man in motion. Russell hands it to Adai, who tries to get the corner and does, and he's knocked out of bounds close to the first down around the 16-yard line. He's about a yard, maybe 2 yards short. Hit hard and knocked out of bounds by Gary Pack. It'll bring up 3rd down and about 2. Well, a good ceiling block on the right side.
Yeah, Ole Miss dropping guys in coverage because they're trying to stop the passing game, and now's the time that LSU is going to have a chance to be able to run it because there are just less guys up there to make the tackles. LSU's offensive line now pretty confident, and when you have less people to block, it's easier to become confident as the Tigers have 3rd, 2 yards to go with the ball located about the 17-yard line deep in Ole Miss territory.
That was a good block by Early Doucette that sprung Adai. A 3rd down and a long 2. Lone receiver is Doucette on the left side. And here's a handoff, and this is fighting hard for the first down, Justin Vincent.
He's got it.
And he's got it as he falls down around the 13-yard line. Vincent and Adai, a very good 1-2 punch here tonight running for the Tigers. Haynes and Robinson combined to make the stop for the Rebs.
So this is just a handoff off the right side with the ball carrier came off of the right tackle. LSU really moved the line of scrimmage about 1.5 yards back to pick up the space that was needed in order for the first down by Justin Vincent.
2 receivers left and 1 right. Vincent, the lone running back. Slot man to the near side, and Russell is under center. This is Jones going in motion. Russell hands it to Vincent, trying to go to the outside, turns the corner, and is pulled down from behind. Somebody reached down and got him by the shoulder pads at about the 11-yard line after a gain of 4. Nice play by Sanford, who caught him from behind and just reached down and got him by the shoulder pads and pulled him down.
Vincent had really gotten to the outside and was getting ready to turn it up, and the nice defensive play was able to hold it to about a 2.5-yard gain. Otherwise, it goes for 5 or 6. It really puts LSU in a nice position.
I actually thought he had got down to about the 10, but they say he went down around the 12-yard line. Now Joe Adai is checked in at running back. 2 receivers on the right side and 1 left. Adai back there by himself. Russell under center, short drop to throw. Does throw, and it is caught by Buster Davis, and he goes down at the 3-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal to go for LSU.
And that's a sign of the maturity of Jamarcus Russell. Buster Davis was split out wide to the left. He ran a short post pattern. Russell came back from center looking to the right, and then at the last second looked back to the left to fire it. When you do that, the safety who's looking at the quarterback can't get tipped off about where the pass is going, and that's all that was needed for that completion.
All right, here's an I formation. Zinger in motion. Russell under center. Hands the ball away. This is a die, and he is close, but did not get in. Boy, from here it looks like they're all piled up in the from the goal line in. But apparently he did not cross the plane, and so it'll be 2nd and goal from. Look where they put that thing down. Looks like the front nose of the football from here is touching the goal line.
Yeah, he's got to be right there. I really think Joe Adai got the ball over the goal line, but the official didn't see it because his back was to the official and the ball was on the other side of what the official could see.
All right, here's Zinger in motion out of the I formation. Russell under center. And he gives it to Adai, and this time he goes in standing. Over the offensive left side, following a block perhaps by Nate Livings. Also in there blocking very well was Andrew Whitworth. That is the 8th touchdown of the year for Joe Adai, and LSU has extended the lead to 15-0.
Well, there were signs on that play that Ole Miss is real close to kind of giving it up defensively. They had a couple of guys that didn't fight real hard to fight off blocks there at the goal line.
Cole David will try to tack on the extra point, and he knocks it through. So with 9:42 to go in the half now here in Oxford, it is LSU 16 and Ole Miss nothing on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
The near miss. A chance to rethink your car insurance. Unless you have State Farm, the company that insures more drivers than any other. No one rethinks getting the right coverage at the right rate. Competitive, even discounted. When you get it all from an agent you can count on and a company you can trust, what's to think about?
Rethink your car insurance. Find a State Farm agent today in the Real Yellow Pages from Bell South or visit statefarm.com.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Providing insurance and financial services.
Football is more than a game. It's a way of life, and Verizon Wireless knows that. Capture the big play with a video phone. Snap and share a picture of the team mascot with Pix messaging, or use text messaging to celebrate without saying a word. And in addition to these great services, you'll be on America's best, most reliable wireless voice network. So call 1-800-2JOIN-IN or visit VerizonWireless.com for more information. Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you. Coverage not available in all areas. Messaging charges apply.
Here's, Doug, an interesting stat. LSU's last scoring drive went 47 yards in 8 plays in 3 minutes and 59 seconds. This one went 45 yards in 8 plays and used 4 minutes. 2 yards and 1 second difference. Exact same number of plays.
That's the way that they scripted this deal.
You know, that's kind of...
You talk about a game plan. Now, that's a game plan where not only do you time your drives to try to coincide with each other, because that's clock management. That's very about
it's
4 yards. 4 yards a touchdown drive. How many points can you score there if you're going to have the ball 3 times a quarter, 4 minutes a drive?
Well,
21 points a quarter, 21, 42, 84. Is that what?
I don't know.
That's the goal here?
I don't know. That's far enough. With the field position that LSU has been getting the ball in, they can score a lot.
And Ole Miss, they have total 7 yards, total offense, I
total
think.
7 yards, and the best starting position that they have had is their 16-yard line. Are Wallace and Espy back deep, and Chris Jackson will kick it away from left to right. 16-0. LSU leading. Now Patrick has come over and ruined everything. Tells us it was 9 plays, Doug, instead of 8. So that just throws all of that out of kilter that we just talked about.
Well, they got some work to do at halftime, aren't they?
Jackson boots it, and he boots it high and deep, and it's taken at the goal line. Back to the 5, to the 10. Bang! What a hit. That is Jacob Hester who leveled him at the 11-yard line, Burnell Wallace. So Ole Miss again starts way back there. I think they may give him as far as how do you get up there? They give him all the way up to the 14.
I don't know how he got there. I do not know. But Coach Bradley Dale Pivato's special teams continue to amaze. You know, LSU has, when you get outside the 15 on a kick return, it is a rare occasion. And Ole Miss is starting this time, at their 14?
At their 14. I formation, receivers on both sides. Flat stays at quarterback and hands it away to Kendrick, trying to get to the outside, and he is tackled by Ronnie Prude and Kenneth Hollis after a gain of about 4 or 5 yards. And that is the first positive running play that Ole Miss has had tonight. And they gained 5 yards on it, up to the 25.
And that was a nice pickup. They got a good lead block by the fullback, which sealed the LSU defense enough to let Kendrick get to the outside to pick up the 5.
He's the lone running back, 2 receivers left and 1 right, and the man on the right side goes in motion. Flat dropped it again and falls on it again. Boy, what's that, 4 times, I believe, tonight?
No, he's tripped twice and he's fumbled 3.
Okay.
He fumbled one of the times that he tripped, but he recovered it.
Okay, well, that's 4 fumbles. Third down and about 7. He lost 3 on that one. The ball is at the 17-yard line. Well, it's cold out there. The finger's a little bit numb, but that's a lot of drops by a quarterback. Here's the triple wedge formation on the left side. Lone receiver right. Man goes in motion. And play action fake. Flat has plenty of time to throw, and he does. It is caught and then hit down immediately at the, or did he hang on to it? Yes, he did. He hang on to it. Espy did. Hit hard by Ali Highsmith, and it will bring up 4th down and about 2.5 yards to go, and so Ole Miss will have to give it up.
And you know, they had a couple of nice plays out of those 3, but the fall down, the fumble by the quarterback cost them the 4, which kept them from a first down.
There's the punt. Boy, it's not a good one. Off the side of his foot and out of bounds inside the 45-yard line. That was ugly. Park hit it off the side of his foot and got 22 yards out of it, and LSU continues to get exceptional starting position. This, I believe, will be at the 44-yard line in Ole Miss territory.
Yeah, I tell you, the Ole Miss defense right now is dangerously close, really, to giving up. Now, I don't expect that will happen, because they'll reach down and find some courage. But when your offense does to you what this Ole Miss offense is doing to the Ole Miss defense, every time LSU's getting it, it's inside midfield.
Yeah.
And, boy, they just, you can't stand up to that for very long.
Receivers on both sides, I formation. Joe Adai, the running back, and Russell tosses him the ball. He's trying to sweep it on the far side, cuts it back up the middle, and goes down at the 40-yard line after a gain of about 4 yards on the play. 2nd down and 6. 7:27 to play in the first half. 16-0 LSU leads. Willis and Robinson combined to make the stop for Ole Miss. What would they do without Patrick Willis?
And a great block by Kevin Stelz on Willis on the play. A pickup of about 4 yards and almost a whole lot more than that were it not for pretty good defensive recovery.
Adai, 9 carries, 45 yards tonight. I formation, receivers both sides. Here is Hester in motion to the near side. And Russell with a play-action fake drops to throw. Steps up in the pocket, throws it very, very deep. There's Buster Davis down there, and he can't hang on.
Intercepted.
It's intercepted in the end zone. Was batted into the air. It was Clark who picked it off.
Buster Davis split out to the left. That time, remember, they sent Hester in motion wide to the right. Now, he's not a flanker, but the idea was make Ole Miss think that there's something happening out on that side. On the backside on the left, Buster Davis ran a post pattern. The ball was laid up for him. He was well covered, went up for the ball, was not able to gain control of it, and it bounced off of his hands into the hands of the safety coming from the other side to help, who was a little late, by the way, Charles Clark, but he got there in time for the deflection, so Ole Miss with a good defensive play, first down on their 20.
That was a very good defensive play. That ball was batted away from, and here is a tackle. Claude Roten just absolutely poured through the line of scrimmage and fell on flat for a big loss back around the 14-yard line, the 13-yard line, as we were still talking about the interception. Roten 8 tackles for losses this year, 56 sacks, and he leads the team with 23 quarterback hurries. Well, he made the quarterback hurry and fall down that time. And a loss on the play of 7. It is 2nd and 17. 2 receivers left and 1 right. Kendrick is the lone running back. Flat under center, short drop, throws over on the near side. It is caught and pushing its way back up close to the original line of scrimmage and then across the 20 to about the 22-yard line, Mario Hill. LaRon Landry knocked him out of bounds, stops the clock with 6:05 to go in the half, and LSU leading 16-0.
A nice play, and Chevis Jackson got trapped inside. The ball was to the Hill coming to the sideline. He had a blocker in front of him, and Mario Hill, rather than forcing him, Chevis Jackson, rather than forcing him back inside, allowed him to step around to the outside to pick up pretty good yardage, but because of the previous loss, it's 3rd and about 7.
There's the wedge formation, triple wedge to the right. Dropping back is flat to throw. Deep drop setting up the screen, and he just threw it into the ground. It wasn't going to go anywhere anyhow because LSU had everything defended well, and probably a pretty good play for Flat to just throw the thing into the ground.
Smart play. Ryan Willis and E.J. Qualley had it sniffed out. There was a screen to the left. They were out there just waiting for it. Ole Miss with no chance for it, and Flat did a good job just to throw it away to the feet of the receiver, who would have been tackled for a 4 or 5 yard loss had he caught the ball.
Park is standing at the 9, and Skylar Green back at the LSU 40. There is the snap and the kick, and it's off the other side of his foot and goes the other way and out of bounds. No, it stayed. Oh, it took a hard right and stayed in bounds and rolled down to the LSU 48-yard line. He ended up only getting 31 yards out of it, but it looked like it was going to be worse than that. So the Tigers still have excellent field position as they start this time at their 46, but this is the first time in a while they haven't started in Ole Miss territory. That ball they hit Doug and turned hard right. Stayed back in the playing field.
LSU had 4 possessions consecutive inside of Ole Miss territory, where they got possession inside of Ole Miss territory.
2 receivers right and 1 left. Vincent, the lone running back, he is handed the football right up the middle, and he breaks it, still on his feet, down inside the 45 to about the 43-yard line over the offensive left side, following a Whitworth. And it is Willis who made the stop, but LSU gets another first down. Makes you wonder if anybody out there could make a tackle if Patrick Willis wasn't on the field for Ole Miss.
And, Jim, I tell you, this is one of the signs when you see a team that is able to start running like this. LSU upset because of the interception last series. If they can run at Ole Miss, they're going to make Ole Miss stop their run before they throw again, I think.
2 receivers right and 1 left. And here's a handoff, and you're right, Justin Vincent. And, boy, he's got a big hole all the way down inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. And you're right, man. The Tiger offensive line is just blowing up the defensive line and opening up big holes right now. That's another Tiger first down. And this time it was Boykin who made the stop for the Rebs.
And when you talk about big holes up the middle, we're talking big holes. We're talking 5-yard wide holes between guard and tackle. And that's a big hole in any sport, in any level of football.
2 receivers right and 1 left. Vincent, the running back. Man in motion. That's Jones coming to the near side. Russell hands it again to Vincent, and another big hole, and he's down inside the 25 to the 24-yard line, and the Tigers are doing all of this on the ground. Bozeman made the stop. Total yards so far in the game, LSU 185, Ole Miss has 18. Thus far in the ball game. 2nd and 5, a gain of 5. 4:25 left in the first half. LSU leading Ole Miss 16-0 here in Oxford. 2 receivers on the right side, 1 on the left. Vincent is the lone running back. Again, Jones comes in motion, this time to the near side. And again, Vincent is handed the football, but this time he fumbled it. And Russell, nope, Ole Miss picks it up. And the Tigers have turned it over 2 consecutive possessions.
Well, the ball simply got stripped. Justin Vincent was stymied at the hole. LSU was in a spread formation. They had 3 wide receivers, but it was a handoff to the right side. Vincent took it off of right tackle, stymied right there at the hole, tried to cut back to the left, and he was stood up, and the second tackler came in and just stripped the ball away from him. Jamarcus Russell had a great chance just to fall on it. He missed it.
Well, the Tigers haven't had the turnover problems in a while, but they've turned it over twice in consecutive possessions here. They could have put this game out of reach completely. 3 receivers on the left side. Flat hands the ball away. And skipping across the 40 up to about the 42-yard line is Kendrick as he broke 2 or 3 Tiger tacklers.
That's a good run by Kendrick.
Yeah, it is.
He was stopped off the left tackle where the hole was, cut it back to the right side, found an open spot, put his head down, and picked up nice yardage.
Ronnie Prude made the stop for LSU. Kenneth Hollis was in on the tackle. Gain of about 7, 2nd down and 3. 2 receivers to the left and 1 to the right. Lone running back, Flat under center, and LSU jumped off sides. They got a free play, but they lost yardage on it, and but they'll get a first down because LSU was offside. I think that was Cameron Vaughn or Kenneth Hollis, one of the other, that jumped off sides. You know, the Tiger offense just moving the ball at will.
Number 95 on the defense. 5-yard penalty.
Tiger offense just moving the ball, but unable to cash in. That's only the 2nd first down of the ball game for Ole Miss.
The ball will be spotted
and
at the 47-yard line.
Well, you got to give some credit, though, to Ole Miss for the strip on Justin Vincent. It's a problem that he has sometimes. When the ball gets stripped out, he's got to be able to secure a little bit better. And the interception in the end zone, a nice defensive play that bounced the ball up in the air.
2 receivers left and 1 right. Flat has changed the play now. A lone running back coming up on the 3-minute mark to go in the first half. And Flat hands the ball away and trying to come to the outside and going down for a loss. At about the 43-yard line is Kendrick. Well, the Tiger defense was aggressive there. Cameron Vaughn was right there along with LaRon Landry. And a loss on the play puts the ball back just inside the Ole Miss 45-yard line at the hash marks to the near side of the field. 2nd down and 12.
Kendrick made a tremendous run to lose only 2 yards. He was going to lose about 6. Broke 2 or 3 tackles to get back to where he got.
Receivers on both sides, an I formation, man in motion to the near side, Flat under center. Drops back to throw. He does throw, and it is caught and then down immediately by Chevis Jackson on the far side of the field, complete to Robert Lane, and he only got about 2 yards on the play. It'll be 3rd down and about 11. And the Rebs are 0 for 6 on 3rd down attempts.
That's been their most effective play, is Robert Lane from the fullback spot in the I formation going out into the flat. And Flat throwing the pass out there. Jackson made the tackle, and a good solid tackle on Robert Lane. 3rd down and 10. The ball located at the Ole Miss 48-yard line.
5 receiver pattern, 3 on the left, 1 on the right. There's nobody in the backfield. Man in motion to the far side, and Flat drops straight back to throw, and he does throw. It is caught, and Lane breaks 1 tackle, but then goes down short of the first down at the LSU 45-yard line, 47-yard line. Ronnie Prude made the stop. It's 4th down.
Lane is proving to be the most prolific offensive player for Ole Miss tonight. Another reception, and he was able to avoid the tackle by Jesse Daniels, turn it upfield, pick up another couple of yards. Robert Lane, a quarterback when he came here to Ole Miss, highly respected baseball player and football player who has really not performed nearly up to expectations.
Ole Miss will call a timeout for some reason and stop the clock with 58 seconds to play in the first half. LSU has a 16-0 lead. I think we're out of commercial breaks. Well, we'll take it then. I'm out of the ball game. 16-0. LSU leads on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Dear Mr. H2O, it's time for us to become reacquainted. Time to dive into every day and every cooler, filled with the signature taste of Budweiser.
I hit the water and my worries drift away. I think it's gonna be a great, great day.
Budweiser beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
When you think about it, bank locations are a lot like touchdowns. You can never get enough of them. And the more you have, the more you get the urge to celebrate in a highly personal way. But let's not go there. So the next time you do business at any of Regions Bank's 1,400 branches or 1,600 ATM locations, don't be ashamed if you break into that victory dance. Regions Bank, official bank of the SEC, and proud sponsor of the LSU Sports Radio Network. Member FDIC.
Yep. Let's quickly pause 10 seconds for station identification in the LSU Sports Radio Network. You know, Ole Miss talking it over here. They may decide that they're going to try something here. They have nothing really much to lose. Fourth down at 4 with 58 seconds left. They are in LSU territory. And the punter is not in there. They are going to go for it. Skylar Green's got to hustle off the field, and they need to get somebody else out there. So that's exactly what they've done. Now LSU will have to call a timeout. So, little sparring there as Skylar ran off the field, which he should have done when he saw that they weren't going to go for it, but they didn't get the defense in. And so they had to call a timeout.
You know, you don't really know whether Ole Miss intended to go for it or whether they're trying to get LSU to use a timeout to change the defense, because maybe their idea is, look, we're going to punt it, but we don't want them to have a bunch of timeouts left and drive down the field. LSU's got 2 of them now remaining. Ole Miss got 1 remaining here in the first half. 58 seconds remaining. Tigers leading 16-0. So I don't know that it would be real smart for Ole Miss, considering how they've moved the ball offensively at midfield, to try for it on 4th down and leave LSU the short field with 3 timeouts. They got them to burn 1 now. Let's see if that was their strategy.
They may send the punter back out there. If they do, LSU has got to be ready to.
Log on to the College Football Hall of Fame website, www.college.
No, they don't have a punter, so
every day is Saturday at the College Football.
We'll see what they're going to do.
4th and 4 for the Rebels.
Kendrick is the running back on 4th down and 4. 2 receivers to the left side. There's a man in motion coming to the near side. Straight back to throw is Flat, and he does, and it is caught for a first down. At the 41-yard line, Espy caught it in front of Kevis Jackson, and there's still 52 seconds left to play.
Well, that's a gutsy play. I admire that. I think, you know, they want to try to score. That's a good deal. Nice play. Espy on the short post on the left side, and Flat fired the ball in there.
Out of the shotgun, Flat is back to throw and has plenty of time. He lobs it, and this one is going to be intercepted. Picked off down around the 32-yard line by Jesse Daniels. But there's a flag on the play. Back up around the line of scrimmage, and they may bring it back.
Number 11, Mike Espy on the tackle. 1st and 10 for the LSU Tigers.
But LSU's defense is running off the field, and so it looks like the offense is going to keep the ball.
Receiver, number 83 on the offense. He was covered up by the wideout. The penalty will be declined. 1st and 10 LSU.
So Jesse Daniels has his first interception of the year.
And that's a good pick. LSU with 38 seconds left, 2 timeouts remaining here in the first half for the Tigers' 16-0 lead. So at their 18-yard line, what do you expect, Jim?
I would throw it down the field, I believe, with the speed LSU's got. Throw that thing. They may not do it. Don't look like they're going to run out the clock.
They should have bunched up in there pretty good.
They're going to run out the clock is what they're going to do. Oh, well.
I throw it too.
Russell takes a knee, and Tigers are going to be content to take a 16-0 lead into the locker room. As there's still 26 seconds out there. But there's 0 on the play clock, so both teams are kind of slowly walking towards the dressing room, and that will do it. And so here at the half, the LSU Fighting Tigers lead the Ole Miss Rebs 16-0, and Ole Miss will get the ball to start the second half. We're going to go down and talk to Coach Les Miles in just a second, but I believe that television has got him wrapped up right now, so we'll hold it right here. LSU got a safety in the first quarter when Flatt fumbled the ball in the end zone and recovered it. Then they got a touchdown on a 4-yard pass to Buster Davis, his first of the year, with 14:50 left in the second quarter. And on the next possession, Joe Adai ran it in from the yard out to make it 16-0 with 9:42 to go in the first half. LSU had a couple of other chances to score, but turned it over twice on a Jamarcus Russell interception in the end zone and a Justin Vincent fumble, or it could be like 30-0 right now. So we'll see what happens in the second half. Now let's go down to Jordy as he talks to Coach Les Miles.
All right, thank you very much. Here comes Coach Miles. Coach, you've thoroughly dominated the game from a defensive standpoint. Give me your thoughts about the first half.
Good. The defense kept Ole Miss pinned up the whole time. Special teams, we punted them down in there. They couldn't get, when we kicked off to them, they couldn't get out of there. You know, they were taking the ball at about the 15-yard line. Field positions benefited us. What we cannot do is we cannot turn the ball over. We threw the ball, Buster hits him in the hands and bounces out, and they get a pick. That gives them to the 20. And then we're gashing and running the football, and we turn it over, over the fumble. Those two things we got to eliminate.
Okay, Coach, thank you very much. Good luck in the second half. So there you have it. Very obvious. Defense stood out. Special teams stood out. If it weren't for 2 turnovers, he may give them a 100%. We'll get the update from the locker room, the warm locker room, folks, that I can't wait to get into. Until then, we'll see you.
We may not see Jordy again the rest of the night after he gets in the warmth of the locker room. It's 16-0 at the halftime, LSU leading, and the Regions Bank halftime show will begin right after this on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
When you think about it, bank locations are a lot like touchdowns. You can never get enough of them. And the more you have, the more you get the urge to celebrate in a highly personal way. But let's not go there. So the next time you do business at any of Regions Bank's 1,400 branches or 1,600 ATM locations, don't be ashamed if you break into that victory dance. Regions Bank, official bank of the SEC, and proud sponsor of the LSU Sports Radio Network. Member FDIC.
On this edition of the Ford Fan Guide, Frontier Justice Expedition Style.
Seated inside Expedition today is Tim Dupay, the referee who blew a game for us last year.
What?
So, Tim, did you know the optional power fold third row you're sitting in right there folds flat at the push of this button?
No, I didn't know that.
Yes, the power fold third row.
Turn it off.
It's a good call.
Don't be a fan without a Ford. See your local Southern Quality Ford dealer today for a great deal on Expedition.
Warning, do not use the power fold third row with passengers on third row, even if they are referees.
Kevin Ford back with you at the LeBarish Hotel and Casino Studio Control Room. This is the Regions Bank halftime show. LSU leading Ole Miss at the half 16-0. Keep your stomach and your wallet full with the Big Bell value menu from Taco Bell. Big satisfying taste like the half-pound beef combo burrito, and the grande soft taco, both with double the seasoned beef. Taco Bell's Big Bell Value Menu. Experience these filling tastes today at Taco Bell. Let's get right to the scoreboard, brought to you by Cox Sports Television, the home of LSU athletics. In the second quarter, number 3 Miami leads Georgia Tech 10-7. Number 5, Penn State beat Michigan State today, 31-22. Number 6, Notre Dame easily over Syracuse, 34-10. Number 7, Virginia Tech blows out Virginia, 52-14. Number 11, Auburn manhandles number 8, Alabama, 28-18. It wasn't that close. Number 9, Ohio State beat number 17, Michigan, 25-21. In the third quarter, in the fog, number 10, Oregon leads Oregon State, 35-7. Number 14, Georgia locks up the SEC Eastern Division title. They blast Kentucky 45-13. In the third quarter of play, Clemson and number 19 South Carolina are deadlocked at 6 apiece. Number 21 Texas Tech beat Oklahoma 23-21. Number 23, Boston College beat Maryland 31-16. And in the fourth quarter, UAB leads number 24, UTEP 28-16. Vandy beat Tennessee 28-24. Both teams assured of a losing season. Arkansas, who LSU plays on Friday, embarrassed Mississippi State 44-10. State games, Tulsa beat Tulane 38-14. Louisiana Monroe in the third quarter leads North Texas 17-13. Nicholls State beat McNeese 39-26, and Southeastern beat Mississippi Valley 38-21. Other games, Iowa over Minnesota 52-28. Northwestern beat Illinois 38-21. Purdue over Indiana 41-14. Baylor beat Oklahoma State 44-34. It was Kansas State over Missouri 36-28. Boise State doubles up Idaho 70-35. In overtime, Utah beats BYU 41-34, and Washington State beat Washington 26-22. Our score at halftime is LSU 16 and Ole Miss 0. Walk-On's Bistro and Bar, located in the shadows of Tiger Stadium on the corners of Nicholson and Burbank, has a special for each day of the week. Monday is $5 pitchers for the game. Tuesday is kids eat free and 2-for-1 martinis. Wednesday is the coaches show. Thursday through Saturday is live music nights, and Sunday is 2-for-1 draft and 2-for-1 margaritas until 5 p.m. The Regions Bank halftime show will continue with the Olshan Foundation Repair first half highlights next on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
On game days, LSU coaches communicate by way of wireless technology. Did you know that LSU students have access to wireless technology every day? In fact, Intel named LSU among the most unwired campuses in the country. Findings were based on the number of areas on campus with wireless access to the internet, as well as the student-to-computer ratio and the percentage of campus covered by wireless technology. LSU has a great game plan, on and off the field.
Hey, Tiger fans, this is Jim Hawthorne. Tiger Stadium is bigger and better than ever this year, but stadium renovations are still underway, so when you go to Tiger football games this fall, remember to arrive at campus early, tailgate in the great tradition of LSU, and avoid lines at the gates by getting to your seat early. It's going to be another great year of Tiger football, and I look forward to seeing you there. Go Tigers!
Bowl games following a college football season have been a tradition since 1902. This season, there will be 28 postseason bowl games showcasing the nation's most talented student athletes. This unique postseason experience has provided a lifetime of memories for generations of college football fans. Bowl games have established a remarkable heritage of not only supporting higher education, but also giving back to their local communities. Be a part of the college football experience by attending a bowl game this year.
Hey, Tiger fans, can't be on campus on game day? Follow all the action on the internet this season in the Go Zone, the new and improved premium access site on LSUsports.net. Get enhanced LSU game day coverage, pick from hundreds of hours of video archives, and don't miss a minute of live online action, only in the Go Zone. Visit LSUsports.net to subscribe, or write to LSU Sports at LSU.edu for details. Join the Go Zone today on the official website for LSU Athletics, LSUsports.net.
And we are back on the Regions Bank halftime show here at the LeBarish Hotel and Casino Studio Control. LSU leading 16-0 at halftime. Bell South Fast Access DSL now get incredible internet speed at one low price, because unlike those introductory deals, Fast Access DSL is only $24.95 a month every month. Bell South listening, answering. It's now time for the Olshan Foundation Repair first half highlights, and the LSU Tigers were able to get on the board first in this ball game. And it wasn't on offense, it was on defense.
High formation, receivers on both sides, man in motion to the near side. Flat, almost fell down, he did drop the ball, and he fell on it in the end zone as a safety.
Boy, I tell you, these Ole Miss fans, they're not happy.
So with 5:27 remaining in the first quarter, LSU leads 2-0, and that would be all of the scoring in the first quarter. But early in the second quarter, LSU gets great field position at the Ole Miss 47-yard line. They drive and score the first touchdown of the game.
Bow and Doucette flank to the left. Davis to the right. Pinson is back there with Russell out of the shotgun. There's the snap. Play action fake and a lob to Davis. Touchdown to the back of the end zone.
Bo to Davis for 3 yards. The PAT by David is good. 14:50 remaining in the second quarter. 9-zip LSU. 8-play, 47-yard drive. It took 2:59 off of the clock. Ole Miss gets it back. They go backwards. LSU gets great field position again, this time at the Ole Miss Rebel 45-yard line, and the Tigers drive for their second touchdown of the game.
All right, here's Zinger in motion out of the I formation. Russell under center. And he gives it to Adai, and this time he goes in standing. Over the offensive left side.
So with 9:42 left in the first half, LSU leads 16-0 after that 8-play, 45-yard drive that took 4 minutes off the clock. LSU had a chance to really put this game away, but Jamarcus Russell threw an interception in the end zone. Then on LSU's next possession, Justin Vincent fumbled the ball inside the 25-yard line of Ole Miss. The Rebels got it back. They drove into LSU territory, but Chevis Jackson intercepts a pass, and we are at halftime with LSU leading by the score of 16-0. The Roux House, located on 143 3rd Street, has karaoke every Wednesday night, live bands every Friday and Saturday, and a piano bar every Tuesday and Thursday. And the Regions Bank halftime show will continue after these messages on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
The Dr. Pepper SEC Fanfare is the place to experience the fun and excitement of the SEC Football Championship game. Fanfare features the Timeout Grill and the SEC Championship Superstore, along with favorite attractions like the Press Box Stage, the SEC TV Experience, and the Celebrity Quarterback Challenge. Located in Hall C of the World Congress Center, Fanfare is just a short walk from the Georgia Dome. So be a part of the SEC Championship experience at the Dr. Pepper SEC Fanfare.
Your connection to LSU sporting events is the Tiger Ticket Office, located in the main lobby of the Athletic Administration Building. Advanced ticket sales to all events are available from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, on both a season and single game basis. For complete seating and price information, call the LSU Ticket Office at 225-578-2184 or toll free 1-800-960-8587 and see the Tigers in action whenever you can.
LSU athletic programs pump over $80 million in business sales into the economy annually, and that's just athletics. Did you know the flagship university contributes over $1.5 billion of economic activity to Louisiana every year? LSU equals jobs, technology, research, business, the arts, and education. LSU is critical to the Louisiana economy and our quality of life. LSU has a great game plan on and off the field.
Hey, Tiger fans, can't be on campus on game day? Follow all the action on the internet this season in the Go Zone, the new and improved premium access site on LSUsports.net. Get enhanced LSU game day coverage, pick from hundreds of hours of video archives, and don't miss a minute of live online action, only in the Go Zone. Visit LSUsports.net to subscribe, or write to LSU Sports at LSU.edu for details. Join the Go Zone today on the official website for LSU Athletics, LSUsports.net.
And we are back on the Regions Bank halftime show. LSU leading Ole Miss at halftime. And now let's go back out to Vaught Hemingway Stadium and Doug Morrow. Doug?
Thanks very much, Kevin. Halftime, LSU leading Ole Miss 16-0, and it's been not nearly that close. LSU with a lot of opportunities in the first half, capitalized on a couple of them for short drives for scores. Ole Miss with a safety early in the ball game, and the Tigers really have dominated the first half. But before we get to the second half, have some information. Herb Vincent, the Associate Athletic Director in charge of External Affairs, and in this particular conversation, External Affairs equates to bowl tickets.
Right.
Herb should have talked about them as a guarantee. He said every fan who wants to go to the bowl game, 4 tickets between the 30-yard line.
You said that.
Now, unfortunately, the only such place he can make the guarantee is in the Superdome, which has nothing to do with the bowl game. So, Herb, tell us about the bowl situation in the tickets.
And Doug, just want to remind all of our season ticket holders that Monday is the deadline to get their applications in for all postseason tickets. That includes the Southeastern Conference Championship and all 11 bowls that are associated with the Southeastern Conference. In other words, you can apply for tickets to every one of those games, and you'll only be charged for and receive tickets to the ones that you order that actually LSU plays in. So don't worry about ordering tickets for games that LSU may not play in the event that we go to some game that maybe we're not anticipating. Go ahead and order the tickets. You'll only get them, and you'll only be charged if indeed we go to that bowl. So Monday's the day. We realize there are a lot of LSU fans out there who are affected by the hurricanes and may not have received their mail. We remind them to please contact the ticket office with their contact information. They can order online at lsusports.net. They can download an order form at lsusports.net and fax it in. So please remember, Monday is the deadline to get that in. That'll allow us to process all the orders and get everything out and ready for our fans.
Now, let me ask you something. If someone, say, if they're thinking maybe I'll go to a bowl game, I'm not sure, but I better order them to be sure that I reserve some tickets, not really expecting to go.
Right.
This is a commitment that is made.
This is a commitment. We need you to provide your credit card.
Okay.
And once we secure a bowl bid, your credit card will automatically be charged. So, yeah, you need to be mindful of that. But most fans pretty much know which ones want to go to the games and which ones don't. And there are no limits right now. We'll only impose any limits if the requests for tickets are above what's available to LSU. So go ahead and order as many tickets as you want to. And in the event that we get too many orders for tickets, then we'll make whatever adjustments are necessary to accommodate as many of our fans as we possibly can. So get ready for postseason action. The Southeastern Conference Championship we hope to be in, and then the postseason bowl will certainly be in because we've already qualified.
Now, on the other end of the spectrum, let's say, is there any danger, and I know that there's not, someone who orders and somehow, because they ordered through using that form, they slip through the cracks and they say, gee, I should have waited, until actually the bowl was picked. I'm sure the plan is set up to ensure that everybody, at least when they make the request, that request is in the system.
Right, and that's why we try to get everybody in by Monday, because it seems early, but to be able to process tickets for the Southeastern Conference Championship in the event that we get in there, we have to have all those packaged, ready to go, and be ready to send out, because there's such a quick turnaround after the Arkansas game, if indeed we win here tonight and we beat Arkansas next week.
Now, if LSU wins tonight, beats Arkansas, obviously they go to the conference championship game.
Right.
If LSU wins that game, the highest bowl, assuming everyone else wins out, Southern Cal, Texas, would be the Sugar Bowl.
The Sugar Bowl,
Am I right
correct.
about that?
That's correct.
And the other possibilities, the other top possibilities, if you want to just mention a couple.
Well, you've got the Capital One Bowl, obviously, always takes one of the higher ranked teams, gets the next opportunity after the Sugar Bowl, and LSU always has an opportunity to go to the Cotton Bowl, because the Cotton Bowl takes the first pick of the West after the Capital One Bowl, and the Outback Bowl is always out there as well, depending on how things fall, where teams may go. We're going to have a lot of 8-3 teams, a lot of 9-2 teams, and so there's a lot of possibilities still out there.
Okay, great. Thanks for the information, Herb Vincent. Enjoy the second half. Okay. And I'll have statistics from the first half, but first, let's take this break on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
And now the Bell South I Saw You Personal of the Week. Bundle with Me writes,
I saw you yesterday, sports guy, wearing a jersey with someone else's name on the back and a foam finger that said number 1. Me, Tiger high-speed internet, 225 channels of all-digital DirecTV service, singular wireless, and unlimited local and long-distance calling. Me, a communications bundle from Bell South with up to $125 cash back when you combine new services, plus hundreds in yearly savings. You, all about scores, coverage, and updates. Sports guy with the foam finger, I await you with the services you want and up to $125 cash back. So call me at 877-ANSWERS today and wear your face paint.
The I Saw You Personal of the Week, brought to you by Bell South. Listening, answering. Cashback redemption coupon for qualifying local service customers on new purchase of qualifying DirecTV, Fast Access DSL, singular wireless, and unlimited long-distance plans. Restrictions apply. Offer ends 12/31/05. DirecTV service provided by DirecTV.
Honda has an ATV that meets every need, and they're available at a Louisiana Honda dealer near you. Whether you ride in the wet or dry, from manual shift to automatic shift, we have a model just right for you. Plus, get any Honda ATV for only $39 a month at 3.9% APR for the first 12 months. So hurry into your participating Louisiana Honda dealer now, and also register for the LSU Tigers Win a New Honda Sweepstakes for your chance to win a TRX 500 FM. Honda, best on earth.
I knew he'd come in handy someday.
Mom.
Here's a true story about true savings from State Farm. I never knew his good grades could get us a discount on car insurance.
I never knew our son could get good grades.
Our State Farm agent always looks for ways we can save money.
Like with the good student discount.
Dad, if you get me a car, we could get another discount.
Nice try.
Find a State Farm agent today in the Real Yellow pages from Bell South or visit statefarm.com. Like a good neighbor,
State Farm is there.
Back at Vaught Hemingway Stadium in Oxford, Mississippi, halftime, LSU leading 16-0 over Ole Miss. Doug Morrow along with Jim Hawthorne and Jordy Hultberg as we're about a minute away from the second half kick. Let me give you the statistics. LSU with 9 first downs, Ole Miss with 3. Tigers rushed 23 times for 99 yards. Ole Miss 12 times for 13 yards. Tigers 79 yards throwing to 49 for Ole Miss. Jamarcus Russell 7 of 13 with 1 interception. Ethan Flatt 9 of 15 with 1 interception, and those are good numbers for him, but the passing game not that impressive for Ole Miss. They were under pressure all night long, and Flatt fell down a number of times, 4 times I think, as he tripped or dropped the football and had to recover it. Total offense, LSU 36 for 178. 27 attempts for Ole Miss for 36 yards. Not much of a performance there. Time of possession for LSU 16:44, Ole Miss 13:16. Believe me, the first half was much more dominating by LSU than those numbers would suggest. But the Tigers had such great field position they couldn't go very far and didn't go very far. And the couple of turnovers that occurred late in the second quarter really deprived the Tigers of scores. LSU will kick it from the south end here to start the third quarter. They'll be going right to left as we look at the field, south to north in this quarter. Ole Miss receiving on the north end, headed to the south. The wind is south to north, so LSU will have it in their favor here in the third quarter. And to give you all the play-by-play of the voice of the Tigers, Jim Hawthorne.
Thank you, Doug. Burnell Wallace and Mike Espy back deep to receive, and the kick is going to be right at the goal line, and he'll run it out. This is Burnell Wallace at the 10 and to the 13-yard line. Absolute great coverage by Jacob Hester, who was down there for LSU, along with Jason Spadoni. And Ole Miss again will start inside their 15-yard line. Let's go to Jordy for the locker room update.
Well, you would think that LSU was trailing at halftime the way the coaches handled the halftime situations, particularly on the offensive side. They really challenged the Tigers, said you left 14 points off of the scoreboard because of silly turnovers. You must not do that. You must execute defensively. Keep playing like you're playing.
All right, let's see. Trip receivers to the left, and Flan hands the ball away, and hit and driven back to the 7-yard line by Kyle Williams.
What a play.
Was Kendrick, and Williams was just in the offensive backfield, and I mean leveled Kendrick just as he was handed the football.
Kyle Williams tackled the blocker and the ball carrier at the same time. He caused almost a 5-yard loss, but one of the classic defensive plays you'll ever see.
Kyle Williams, the SEC Defensive Player of the Week this week. Receivers on both sides. Kendrick, the lone running back. He is handed the ball, trying to turn the corner on the outside, and does, and gets back to the original line of scrimmage, and a yard or two before he's knocked out of bounds by Cameron Barr. Over on the far side of the field at about the 17-yard line, and it'll bring up now third down and about 7.5, maybe close to 8. And the Rebs are 0 for 7 on third down conversion attempts. Third down and 7, we'll call it, between the 16 and 17-yard line. Two receivers flank left, split back formation with Kendrick, the running back, flat under center. Rolls to the near side to throw, being pursued, and he unloads it, and it is incomplete, and that'll be interference called on LaRon Landry.
And that's a good call. It was interference. The ball was overthrown. Had it been thrown low to the receiver, then Landry would have hit him about the time the ball got there, but the ball was high over his head, and it fluttered, and by the time the ball got to the receiver, actually Landry had already hit him and cut his feet out from underneath it.
Number 30 on the defense. The penalty will be enforced at the spot of foul. 1st and 10.
So it gives him a first down. The pass was in the direction, I believe, of Hill.
26-yard line.
I will say,
it'll be at the 26-yard line.
I will say, because the ball fluttered is why it took so long to get there, but Mario Hill will remember that. And Ethan Flatt actually will remember it, too. He got whacked pretty good by Claude Roden right as he released the football.
Let's go quickly to Jordy.
A sideline warning issued to LSU because Bo Pelini continues to holler at the officials, saying that Ole Miss has had 12 in the huddle every time when they break. So he has really warned him, and now the officials talking to Les Miles to settle Bo down a little bit.
All right, 59,543 the official attendance here tonight. 1st and 10 Ole Miss at their 26-yard line. Receivers on both sides. Lone running back is Kendrick, and there is a new quarterback in the ball game. That is Spurlock, number 16. Under center, play action fake. He rolls to the near side, tosses it complete, and down short of the 35-yard line is the tight end Jimmy Brooks. Nice gain on the play. Will bring up second down and about 3 yards to go. LaRon Landry made the stop. Just short, well, right at about the 34-yard line.
Nice little bootleg action that time by Spurlock. He had LSU's defense fooled. He got to the outside. They made a nice completion for about 7 yards.
Spurlock under center. Two receivers flying left. Split back formation for Ole Miss. LSU leads it 16-0. Here's a handoff, and finding no place to go. Stacked up at the line of scrimmage and then pushed back. Behind the 30 is Kendrick. LaRon Landry had him, along with Melvin Oliver and a couple of others.
And Jesse Daniels in there, too. Nice defensive play that time by the LSU, including the secondary. The entire defensive left side denied Kendrick the opportunity even to get back to the line of scrimmage, although they are spotting the ball right up there where the line was.
Third down and close to 3. Ball right where it was, between the 33 and 34-yard line. As the Rebs hustle up to the line of scrimmage, Spurlock, the new quarterback, lone receivers both sides, split back formation, and they shuffle around now and send two receivers out to the left side and one to the right. Spurlock, short drop to throw, does throw, incomplete at the 40-yard line through the hands of the intended receiver, Tay Biddle, and Ole Miss will have to punt it away. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the LSU Sports Radio Network. Park will kick it away from the 20. Skylar Green back deep to receive for LSU, standing around the Tiger 30-yard line. LSU about to receive it for the first time in the second half, and that's a pretty good punt that time. Green takes it in and heads back upfield and is knocked out of bounds around the 33-yard line. He fielded it just inside the field of play on the near sidelines, a 38-yard punt. And LSU still has pretty good field position to start at about their own 33, but that's the worst field position they've had tonight to start a series. We'll take the timeout. 12:22 to go in the third. LSU 16, Ole Miss nothing on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Aaron Meredith made the world's highest student score on the Certified Internal Auditor exam.
Jacob Landry is the recipient of the prestigious Harry S. Truman Scholarship.
Lisette Oropesa is a national winner of the Metropolitan Opera competition.
Amaka Agachukwu was awarded the preeminent Goldwater Scholarship.
Tam Wing participated in research funded by the Howard Hughes Medical Institute.
LSU. Mind power. At work for you.
Hey, Tiger fans, can't be on campus on game day? Follow all the action on the internet this season in the Go Zone, the new and improved premium access site on LSUsports.net. Get enhanced LSU game day coverage, pick from hundreds of hours of video archives, and don't miss a minute of live online action, only in the Go Zone. Visit LSUsports.net to subscribe, or write to LSU Sports at LSU.edu for details. Join the Go Zone today on the official website for LSU Athletics, LSUsports.net.
Well, 22 to go in the third. LSU leads Ole Miss 16-0. The Tigers have it first and 10 at their 32. Honda has an ATV that meets every need, and they're available at a Louisiana Honda dealer near you. Get any Honda ATV for $39 per month or 3.9% APR for the first 12 months. So hurry into your participating Louisiana Honda dealer now, and also register for the LSU Tigers Win a New Honda sweepstakes for your chance to win a TRX 500 FM Honda Best on Earth. Well, Doug, it'll be interesting to see if the LSU offense now can get it in gear as they have the ball for the first time here in the second half.
And this is about as deep as LSU has had it in their own territory. I think the first time was at the beginning, the first series of the game at the 20-yard line.
That's right.
And LSU's had it further up the field every time since then. Here they'll start at the 32-yard line, but hopefully they'll make quick work of that and get it back in Rebel territory.
Doucette right and Davis left. Joe Adai, a lone running back, as Jamarcus Russell will go under center. First and 10 at the LSU 32-yard line. They're leading at 16-0. Now Jones goes in motion towards the right side, and Russell may have changed the play. Goes back under center, hands the ball off, and Adai coming to the outside, breaks the tackle, and goes down at the 36-yard line. He got about 4 on the carry. He'll bring up second down and 6. Boynton and Pack made the stop for the Ole Miss Rebs. The Rebels had 36 total yards of offense at halftime, but they picked up a little bit here in the second half. They got 46 now, so they've got 10 yards in the second half. Receivers on both sides, lone running back, second down and 6 after a gain of 4. The ball is at the LSU 36-yard line. Russell under. Short drop to throw, steps up in the pocket, lobs it to Adai, and Adai has the first down up to the 45-yard line. Nice decision that time by Russell. He couldn't find the intended receiver, started to run, then he saw Adai and dumped it off to him for the first down as Patrick Willis made the stop.
This is a terrific little play, and there's a lot of information contained in the decision by Jamarcus Russell. Couldn't find anybody downfield, had to start scrambling, saw Joseph Adai, who had just blocked, and then checked down right over the middle, just past the marker, flipped it to him, first down, a new set of downs for the Tigers, but a really good sign of the maturity of Jamarcus Russell.
Lone receiver both sides, lone running back, deep drop this time by Russell, looking way downfield, and he's got Bo down there. Just off his fingertips at the 11-yard line. It looked like the ball was right where it should have been, and very honestly, it didn't look like Bo put a great deal of effort in trying to catch the ball.
I think Bo misread the ball. Although the wind is not much, it's in that direction a little bit, and I think it took off just enough for Bo to misjudge it. He missed the ball by a couple of inches as he looked out over it. He just misjudged it. That's all it was to it. The pass was absolutely perfectly thrown.
And he had position. He's not a happy camper. He's mad at himself over on the far sideline. Second and 10 now. Receivers both sides, I formation. Tigers trying to go for the home run there. And Russell, play action fake, back again. He's being pressured, and boy, he goes down for a big loss. Back at the 34-yard line, Pack and Mitchell were not to be denied, and Russell lost a bunch of yards there.
Well, a good rush by Ole Miss. That's really the first time they've put that quick pressure on him. And they're going to have to be rushing guys from other places in the secondary in order to do that. And that time they did it. Russell, a nice job of hanging onto the football instead of getting rid of it quickly as he was inclined to do.
Third down and about 20. Now back at the 35-yard line. Brazil and Doucette flank out to the right. I believe it is Skylar Green flank to the left. And the Tigers are in the shotgun formation. Russell with the ball. Plenty of time to throw. Down the middle, and he has got his man for a first down. Benny Brazil cutting across the middle at the Ole Miss 40-yard line. 25 yards as Benny Brazil is slowly emerging as a big play guy for LSU.
He has emerged, I'm telling you. He has made play after play this season. He doesn't get to play an awful lot, but he keeps making plays. He was in the slot on the right side, went down the field and across the field. Jamarcus Russell had time. He waited and waited, but this is his second or third receiver, and he threw it out there. Brazil went down to make sure he could make the reception. First down LSU at the 40-yard line.
Two receivers right and one left. Lone running back, and the handoff is to Adai. Adai's got some running room, cuts it to the outside. He's at the 30, trying to turn it down the far sidelines. 25, and he's out of bounds at the 23-yard line. Boy, that looks like the Joe Adai of old right there. Travis Johnson angled him out of bounds after an 18-yard advance upfield by Joe Adai.
Adai took the handoff on the counter, stepped to the left, took up the middle, then cut to the right. He stepped into the hole off tackle to draw the defender in there, then stepped back out around, made the same move two more times to buy yardage for himself, got down almost to the 22-yard line, another first down.
Carter to the right, Doucette and Brazil to the left. Lone running back, man in motion. Russell hands it off, and Adai breaks the tackle, and good second effort, got it down to the 20-yard line. He was hit at the 25 and spun away from the would-be tackler, and it was Kelvin Robinson who made the tackle. Boykin missed him. And a nice effort by Adai there. He only got a couple of yards, but he could have lost about 4.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he picked up a lot of yardage that time. It only was a 2-yard gain from the line of scrimmage, but he saved himself 3 on the loss by spinning right when he got the handoff to avoid the initial tackler, Boykin.
Buster Davis flanks out to the right side, and early Doucette will come over to the near side of the field. That's left. I formation with Adai the running back. Russell under center. Play action fake, rolls to the far side and throws. Doucette, touchdown! Oh, that was beautiful. What a great fake by Russell. That is early Doucette's 5th touchdown reception of the year, and the Tigers have jumped out in front 22-0.
Boy, what a terrifically executed play, a bootleg action. Russell run fake to the left, roll back to the right. On the left side in the slot was early Doucette, who went downfield, started across the middle. Russell looked right for him as soon as he came out of the fake and put the ball in the perfect spot for a score.
Cole David for the PAT try, and it is right down the pipe. 8:36 to play in the third quarter. It's LSU 23, Ole Miss nothing on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Aaron Meredith made the world's highest student score on the Certified Internal Auditor exam.
Jacob Landry is the recipient of the prestigious Harry S. Truman Scholarship.
Lisette Oropesa is a national winner of the Metropolitan Opera competition.
Amaka Agachukwu was awarded the preeminent Goldwater Scholarship.
Tam Nguyen participated in research funded by the Howard Hughes Medical Institute.
LSU. Mind power. At work for you.
Your connection to LSU sporting events is the Tiger Ticket Office, located in the main lobby of the Athletic Administration Building. Advanced ticket sales to all events are available from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, on both a season and single game basis. For complete seating and price information, call the LSU Ticket Office at 225-578-2184 or toll free 1-800-960-8587 and see the Tigers in action whenever you can.
Well, we're kind of hung up on the 8-play drives here, although one of them changed to 9 plays early on us. This one was 8 plays, 68 yards, and they used 3 minutes and 46 seconds. Doucette a 20-yard touchdown catch. Russell on the night is 10 of 17 for 133 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he has thrown for 1 interception. So 8 seems to be the good number for LSU tonight.
But at the half, he was 7 of 13 with 1 interception. The interception was actually a touchdown that Buster Davis didn't make. In the second half, Jim, he's 3 for 4, and the fourth one was the touchdown pass that Dwayne Bowe dropped.
Yeah.
So he's been about as perfect as you can be this half. He's made very smart plays. One time he held on to a ball that he, in the old days, would have tried to throw it away. He took a sack, but he maintained possession of the ball. Every other time he's had the ball in the perfect place, and his field presence just the last 3 or 4 games has tremendously improved.
I guess you could say, based on those drives that I just told you, that 8 is enough, right?
Let's say it.
Somebody could say it. Jackson boots it deep, and it's taken at the 1-yard line. Back to the 5, to the 10, 15, and this time across the 20, flag goes down.
That's a penalty against Ole Miss, a block in the back. Coming downfield was Craig Stelz, who had a bead drawn on the ball carrier and got blocked from the back. I think that's what it's going to be anyway. The official called it. He came in from the far side, but he saw it. It occurred down about the 10-yard line. And I think that's what the call is going to be.
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 4 on the receiving team, half the distance to the goal from the spot of the foul, 1st and 10.
Daniel Francis made the tackle. Espy was the guy on the carrying the football. And let's go down to Jordy.
Tell you what, there's nothing like a 23-zip lead when you know you're a better football team than the other. Lots of fun happening over here in the on the sideline. Everybody's smiling, having a good time. Defense is fired up, riled up, got the people in the north end zone on their feet. So we'll see what happens.
The whole north end zone is wearing purple and gold. All right, lone receivers on both sides. Spurlock is back in at quarterback, and he came out from under to change the play, and there was movement in the line of scrimmage.
Jimmy Brooks, a tight end on the left side, he moved. Now, I don't know that he moved initially, but I think he did as the officials...
Dead ball. False start, number 75 on the offense.
Well, that was Bobby Harris, left tackle.
First down.
Or at least that's who the official thinks it was.
Maybe that's why Jimmy Brooks moved, is because Bobby Harris moved too.
Could be. Ball is put back at the 4-yard line, and it's 1st and 15.
And 14 yards to go for Ole Miss.
Receivers on both sides. Kendrick is the lone running back. Spurlock comes out from under center and has changed the play. Now he goes under. Drops back in the end zone to throw, and he throws it away, and it's a good thing that he did because Kyle Williams was right in his face. Mario Hill was downfield in the general vicinity of an uncatchable pass, and it's 2nd down and 15.
Well, there's a reason that Ethan Flatt started in front of Spurlock. He was a better passer, but Spurlock was able to get back there without tripping. So it's, some can do one thing better than the others, but being able to pass it's the thing you really need to do best.
Receivers on both sides. Here's a handoff to Kendrick, and he is weighed down at the line of scrimmage for no gain. Ran into Kenneth Hollis and a couple of others, including Chase Pittman. And it's 3rd down and about 14 now. 3rd down, maybe 13.
3rd down and 13 yards.
And right on the 5-yard line. At the 8-minute mark in the 3rd quarter, LSU leads Ole Miss 23-0.
And LSU's defense is going to try to make him pay on this play. This is one you can really break their back.
All right, 2 receivers flanked out to the left. The lone running back and a man going in motion. That's Lane to the far side. Spurlock drifts back in the end zone to throw. He's being chased back there. Rolls to the far side and fires it out of bounds over in the LSU bench area, and the intended receiver was Lane, and he ran over somebody, one of the LSU coaches over there, I think.
Well, I'll tell you, Spurlock did a great job just to get the football out that time. Had that been Ethan Flatt, it would have been another safety, either because he would have thrown the ball away in the end zone with no receiver downfield, or because he's a lot less fleet of foot than Spurlock, and he would have been tackled.
I think that was Oliver who almost got him, I believe. And so now here is Park right in the back of the end zone to punt it away, and LSU has Schuyler standing up around midfield. There's a snap, and he punts it away. Green, fair catch, takes it at the Ole Miss 42-yard line, and I don't know if I've ever seen a game where field position has been this different. 37 yards on the punt, signals Patrick Wright after he got his fingers out of his jacket. How about in the ball game? 7:19 to play in the third. It's 23-0 LSU on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
To whom it may concern, there comes a day when, frankly, the sun is too perfect, and the friends call, and the cooler screams for the bright, crisp, clean taste of Budweiser. Budweiser beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
On this edition of the Ford Fan Guide, a completely unadvisable way to demonstrate Freestyle's interior room.
Joining us is Bulldog Fan Club President Ed Stawicki. How's it feel back there, Ed?
Comfortable.
Well, the third row was designed for 2 fully grown adults, but how about a fully grown adult and a fully grown tiger?
What? No!
It looks like tigers and bulldogs just don't mix, even in a roomy Freestyle.
Don't be a fan without a Ford. See your local Southern Quality Ford dealer today for a great deal on Freestyle.
No fan club presidents were mauled during the making of this commercial.
7:19 left to play in the third quarter. 23-0. LSU is leading Ole Miss. The Start Saving Program, Louisiana's 529 college savings plan, offers tax advantages, state matching contributions, and a variety of investment options. For more information on Louisiana's Start Saving Program, visit www.startsaving.la.gov. That's www.startsaving.la.gov. Now the Tigers on a beautiful 68-yard drive, the first time they handled the ball here in the second half. This field position has been amazing. LSU has started at their 20, their 42, the Ole Miss 48, the Ole Miss 45, the Ole Miss 44, the LSU 46, the LSU 18, the LSU 32, and now the Ole Miss 42. Now that's incredible field position. Justin Vincent has checked in at running back for the Tigers now. Joe Adias had a good night. And we're waiting on ESPN2 to turn us loose. Adias, 12 carries for 68 yards. Vincent, 11 carries for 42. That's pretty good. Pretty good work for those two. 2 receivers right and 1 left. Russell goes under center. Vincent, the lone running back. Russell straight back to throw, drops back deep, throws it out to Vincent, who is wide open, and he is tackled on a very, very good solo tackle. When it looked like Vincent might could turn it into a very big play, but Kelvin Robinson disallowed that, and there's a gain on the play of about 4 yards.
And Jim, for some unusual reason, Benny Brazell limping off the field. He ran a pass pattern on the plate, didn't hit anybody, but finished the pattern and came off limping a little bit. As Dwayne Bowe came off after the pass, he dropped limping a little bit. I don't know the reason for that. I know Jordy's going to check on that stuff.
Second down and 5 for LSU. Receivers on both sides, lone running back, Russell under center. And he hands the ball away to Vincent, and Vincent comes to the outside. He's got the first down and more inside the 30 down to the 28-yard line and out of bounds on the near side of the field. Early Doucette and Keith Zinger overdoing some fine blocking to seal the outside for Vincent. McBride and Robinson made the stop, and let's go down to Jordy.
Well, Doug, you know the reason why they call the football the pill, don't you? Because whenever you have it, it heals all illness. So you got to get the pill to feel good, and no reason. Everybody's fine. No big deal. Everybody's good.
All right.
You got that, Doug?
Doucette is flanked right. Davis flanked left. Jones goes in motion. Vincent, the lone running back. Russell under center. And he hands it to Vincent, and he tries to turn the corner and does on the far side, but he's tripped up. Again, a very, very good single tackle by guess who? Patrick Willis, which just as Vincent started to turn upfield, Willis caught up with him and stopped him after a gain of only about 2 yards.
Let me see if I can decipher the last hieroglyphic comment from the sideline. Does this mean that when you should have caught the pass, but you didn't, when you start limping, people won't say, how come he didn't catch it? They'll say, gee, I wonder what's wrong with him.
Cute.
Well, but they didn't throw the ball to Benny, so he didn't get a chance to not catch it. 2 receivers flank left. Here's a play-action fake, and Russell is back to throw. Does over the middle to Vincent, and he fumbled the football. I don't know if he caught it or not, but they say it's LSU's ball. That was not a very good pass right there. That was just a little short toss right over the middle of the field, and there were about 8 defenders all around Justin Vincent. And I do think he caught it and then fumbled it, but it was recovered by LSU. And so now it is 3rd down and about 7 just behind the 25-yard line.
But I think it's a good thing that Jamarcus Russell's getting used to looking in there after he sees receivers covered downfield to go ahead and pick up something. It's a smart thing to do, to be able to spot that receiver in the middle and just pick up a few yards.
2 receivers left and 1 right. Joe Adai is in it running back, and Russell will set up in the shotgun. And he did not get to play off in time. They took too much time, and that will be a delay of the game. So it took too long to develop.
Dead ball, delay of game, ball on the offense. 5-yard penalty.
Well, that's the first one of those
in a long time.
Yep. And it was right there. I mean, he didn't miss getting it off by much.
It's 3rd down and 12 now.
31-yard line. 3rd down and 13.
Back at the 31-yard line.
It is 3rd and 13.
2 flankers to the left and 1 to the right. Same formation. Russell will set up in the shotgun. Now here's Doucette coming in motion. There's the snap. Here comes the blitz. Everybody's coming. The throw is incomplete. Well, they had everybody coming, and Russell couldn't find anybody open. I'm surprised nobody was open with them sending everybody. It was in the direction of Davis, and it was incomplete in front of him, and they're going to let Chris Jackson try a 50-yard field goal.
Well, there were a couple of them open downfield. Benny Brazil was open because Ole Miss did rush everybody. Brazil in the middle of the field. Russell, had he just taken the snap when he saw him coming, just laid it up in the middle, it would have been a touchdown. But he didn't have time to do that. He did a good thing, just getting rid of the football.
48-yard attempt by Chris Jackson. His longest is 44. There's a snap. Flynn puts it down, and Jackson has got the distance on it, and it's good.
The kick is good.
Well, that one was running out of gas in a hurry, but it dropped just over the crossbar.
That's all it's got to do.
That's all it's got to do. And it is 26-0. LSU leads Ole Miss with 4:04 to go in the 3rd quarter on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
We've built a place for the big cheeses and the Joe Schmoes, for the desk jockeys, disc jockeys, and plain old jockeys. And as for the laptop luggers, brew chuggers, and all the rest, L'Auberge du Lac Hotel and Casino will entertain everyone's idea of a good time. With championship golf, a deluxe spa and pool, masterful restaurants, lavish rooms, and a Vegas-style casino. L'Auberge du Lac, now open in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Visit ldlcasino.com. Gambling problem? Please call 1-800-522-4700.
If you're looking for an auto parts store that goes the extra mile, get ready. Advance Auto Parts is working harder to do more for you and your car. Get ready for free battery testing and installation. Get ready for free wiper blade installation. Get ready for free do-it-yourself brochures, free video clinics on Advance TV, our exclusive in-store network, and free advice from our ASE certified experts. When you're ready for know-how and a helping hand, the first place to go is Advance Auto Parts.
We're ready in advance.
Well, that was a 6-play, 11-yard drive, and it culminated in a 48-yard field goal by Chris Jackson. That is his longest of the year. I don't know if that's his longest of his career, but He's gotten over 51 time, I think, around 54, but that's a pretty good pop when you can hit it through from 48 yards out. All right, Jackson will boot it away, and this one is going to be returnable. Caught at the 3, back to the 5, to the 10. This is Espy, and oh boy, Jacob Hester is there again, and Ole Miss again will start at about their 12-yard line. Just tremendous special teams play. Chris Jackson was even down there. Look. He was down there in the middle of the pile this time.
And Craig Stelt's down there once again. I mean, there's a lot of pride that these players take in the special teams, and it shows, and it's really paid off for LSU throughout the entire season. That's one constant that has been there every game, and that is great special teams play. Attention to detail.
Spurlock stays in at quarterback. Kendrick is the running back. 2 receivers on the left side, and Lane goes in motion that way. Spurlock drops to throw and being chased, and he's down at the 1-yard line.
Cameron Vaughn, my gosh, what a great tackle.
Looked like he was shot from a cannon through there.
And Spurlock got back there quickly, Jim, and tried to duck out of the way, and Vaughn just kind of grabbed him by the shoulder pads as he went by and pulled him down. Really a fine defensive play.
Tackle for LSU.
A loss of about 10 or 12 on the play. Well, actually, it was 10 or 11. They were at the 13, and now they're at the 2. I formation. Receivers on both sides. The slot man to the near side. He goes in motion. Spurlock drops back to throw in the end zone and throws it out complete to Lane at the 10. And he's pushed out of bounds at about the 15-yard line. So he got the loss back, plus about a couple more yards before Ronnie Prude pushed him out around the 13-yard line. He got right back to the original line of scrimmage.
And again, that's been the most effective play. Lane coming out of the backfield into the flat on the right side. Ole Miss has completed that pass several times. Lane's made nice receptions, turned upfield. Again, he is their most prolific offensive player in this game. He's the guy who catches passes and picks up yards. Third down, just slightly less than 10 to go for the first one.
Ole Miss has not converted a third down play. They're 0 for 9. Spurlock back, sets up in the pocket and throws. They have this time. Or did he drop that thing? No, he caught it. Okay, I couldn't tell whether he had dropped it or not. And Mario Hill made the catch up around the 33-yard line. So that is the first time tonight that Ole Miss has converted a third down attempt. Zenon and Landry made the stop, and boy, the Tigers kind of let them off the hook there. They had them back at the 1-yard line. Now they're all the way up to the 31. That'd give them a little boost. And Spurlock drops back to throw, is chased out of the pocket, does throw, and it is intercepted back at the 40. And it is Zenon with the ball, still going down the far sidelines. He's at the 20. He will not be denied, and pulls a tackler with him down to the 15-yard line. 33 yards on the return of the interception by Jonathan Zenon, and what a run after he intercepted it, his first of the year. Bobby Harris made the stop for Ole Miss.
LSU with the big blitz up the middle on first down. Spurlock got rid of the football quickly, but Zenon on the corner on the right side, knowing the blitz, had forced Spurlock into the throw, jumped the route of the receiver, stepped in front of him in the path of the ball, made the interception, and then Jim would not be denied, didn't want to go down, fought his way all the way down to the 15-yard line, first down, LSU.
Joe Adai, the lone running back, 2 receivers left and 1 right. Here's Jones in motion, Russell under center, and the play action fake. He's going to have to throw it in a hurry, and he does. It's caught by Jones. And he's out of bounds at about the 12-yard line. Only a gain of 3, but Russell had great pressure on him that time, and he had to get rid of it maybe a little quicker than he wanted to. Robinson made the tackle, I believe. Or actually, it was Willis who made the tackle. And they're holding the ball for some reason over on the far sidelines. Now they bring it in and spot it down at the 12-yard line.
Almost got the player limping over there. Here he comes. That's what the official is signaling. You got an injured player, Coach. You need to get to
Robinson, who is walking kind of stiff-legged off of the field of play.
2nd and 4 for LSU.
2nd down and 4 after a gain of 6 with 2:15 to play in the third quarter. I don't know if Robinson, how he hurt himself, maybe assisting on the tackle, I'm not sure. Two receivers flank out to the left. That is Doucette and Davis. I formation in the backfield. Joe Adai is the running back. Russell under center. Play action fake. Drops the throw. Steps up in the pocket. He's going to run it. He's at the 5. And he puts his head down and goes down at the 3-yard line. It'll be first and goal to go for LSU. And we will pause 10 seconds again for station identification on the LSU Sports Radio Network. Pack and Willis in on the stop. First and goal for LSU with 1:52 to play in the third quarter, and the Tigers leading at 26-0. It was 16-0 at the half. Nobody is flanked out this time. I formation. Adai is the running back, and Russell called a timeout. First time out of the second half. LSU calls it with 1:37 to go. And we'll go over to the far sidelines and talk it over. I wonder what Russell obviously must have saw something, and they don't want to take a chance on not getting a score out of this. Let's go down to Jordan.
Well, they called the timeout because the 25-second clock was down to 2, and he had yet to make a play count.
Well, that's a good thing.
And on the last play prior to that, when Jamarcus took off, kind of reiterating what Doug had said earlier in the game, Les Miles was like, no, don't get hit. Just slide in. Don't get hit. And he took Jamarcus over to the side, and he's talking to him right now, telling him, look, big fella, we're going to need you for a few more games. You know, just take the safe way out. I love your aggressive nature, but let's be smart about it now. Let's not take any crazy chances, and let's stay well and play another down the road.
Yeah, Jordy, I think he wanted a touchdown. I think he smelled the end zone.
No doubt he did.
Yeah.
He does, but I tell you, the thing is that he got hit. He ducked his head down. He's big enough where he's going to hurt most people, or he's not going to get hurt most of the time. But his right shoulder is what took the contact, and you never know when you're going to get hit just the right way on it to damage it, even if you don't get hit hard.
All right, here we go now. Nobody is flanked out. Play action fake, and Russell is rolling to the far side. He's going to have to throw it away, and he did. That's the only thing that he could do. He had 3 receivers in the end zone, but he couldn't find anybody open. And he was pressured by Mitchell, and so he did the wise thing. He just tossed it away. Here are the unofficial totals. Listen to this. LSU with 274 yards. Ole Miss has 67 total yards. Minus 20 running and 87 passing. LSU very balanced. That's what they always say they want to be. 132 running, 142 passing. And it is second and goal from about the 3-yard line. 1:28 to play in the third quarter. And the clock is stopped. I formation, nobody flanked. Russell sends Zinger in motion to the near side and hands the ball away. This is Adai, and Adai is at the goal line but did not quite get in. He went down right at the goal line. And tackle, I believe, by Haynes, number 99.
Tackle, number 13, Jamarcus Sanford.
Sanford also was in on the tackle. And it is third down and goal to go from less than a yard away.
Good blocking right at the point of attack. The pitch sweep out of a tight formation to the left. Good lead blocking there by Zinger. Whitworth on the left side. Always good lead blocking by him. And so LSU with just inches to go for the touchdown.
I formation. Nobody is flanked out. Russell under center. And hands the ball away. And Adai not going to make it. Boy, they pushed him back. There was no hole there. And matter of fact, probably didn't quite get back to the line of scrimmage. So it's fourth and goal now from the 1. Willis and Taylor and several others in on the stop. Well, lost about a yard.
Yeah.
Clock's going to run out, and it will end the third quarter. And when we start the fourth, LSU will have fourth and goal from the 1-yard line. So that's it. We go to the fourth with the score. I think that it's wrong on the scoreboard. The score is LSU 26 Don't miss nothing on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Some thoughts on smart living from your Whitney bankers. Mind your pennies and the dollars will take care of themselves. Dig a well before you're thirsty. The best things in life are free. Which brings us to Smart Checking, the free with direct deposit checking account with free online bill pay, email alerts, and more. Drop by Whitney Bank or call 1-800-681-9015. Member FDIC with no direct deposit and $8 monthly fee applies. $5.95 online bill pay monthly fee is waived for Smart Checking customers.
Honda has an ATV that meets every need, and they're available at a Louisiana Honda dealer near you. Whether you ride in the wet or dry, from manual shift to automatic shift, we have a model just right for you. Plus, get any Honda ATV for only $39 a month at 3.9% APR for the first 12 months. So hurry into your participating Louisiana Honda dealer now, and also register for the LSU Tigers Win a New Honda Sweepstakes for your chance to win a TRX 500 FM. Honda, best on earth.
It's so hard to be away from each other at different schools.
I know, sweetie, but with Singular, it's like we're together, because we can talk as much as we want without using our minutes.
And even though our schools are arch rivals...
And playing a crucial game today.
Thanks to Singular, we can talk all we want, or to over 50 million Singular customers for no extra charge.
That's a big game today. You're going down! You don't know the meaning of this!
Talk to over 50 million people for no extra charge. Singular, raising the bar.
Some restrictions and other monthly charges apply. Unlimited mobile to mobile available with 2-year service agreement on select plans. Coverage not available in all areas. See map at stores.
All right, as we go to the fourth, LSU's looking at fourth down and a yard and leading at 26-0. Here are your official stats. LSU 15 first downs. I'm sorry, that's Ole Miss. 5. That's what Patrick has written down here. LSU has 277 total yards to 67 for Ole Miss. The Tigers have run for 134, passed for 143. Them has minus 20 rushing and 87 passing. In the third quarter alone, the Tigers had 99 yards and Ole Miss 31. Russell, 33 of 22 for 143 yards. He's thrown for 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. 13 of 22. Russell is, and that's a pretty good night. And as you said, 2 or 3 of those that were not completed were not really his fault.
Jim, did you notice how beautiful the silver bench seats are in this stadium? Because you can see
a lot of them now, can't you?
A lot of people who have left their spots, in which you see is a lot of bench seats around here.
That's pretty smart because it's cold. All right, here we go. Let's see if the Tigers can get it in the end zone. Justin Vincent is the running back. Stelz at fullback. Everybody's in tight. Vincent is in over the offensive left side. Lead block by Stelz. Opened it up.
Stelz, McGill, Whitworth, Rudy Niswanger ended up out there where the play was, blocking his man all the way down the line. Good team effort, and Justin Vincent turned it up and got in the end zone on the toss sweep around the left side for the score as LSU goes out 32-0 over Ole Miss.
And Cole David for the PAT try. Matt Flynn to put it down. And the kick is in the air, and it is good. Cole David has got about as sweet a swing at a point after as I have ever seen. Took LSU 7 seconds to put up 7 more, and it is the Tigers 33, the Rebs 0 on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Dr. Pepper SEC Fanfare is the place to experience the fun and excitement of the SEC Football Championship game. Fanfare features the Timeout Grill and the SEC Championship Superstore, along with favorite attractions like the Press Box Stage, the SEC TV Experience, and the Celebrity Quarterback Challenge. Located in Hall C of the World Congress Center, Fanfare is just a short walk from the Georgia Dome. So be a part of the SEC Championship experience at the Dr. Pepper SEC Fanfare.
Hey, Tiger fans, show your Tiger pride and keep LSU beautiful on game day. Here are 4 easy ways you can help. Mike likes a clean yard, so be sure to use the LSU trash bags and litter cans. Save our oak trees. Don't park on the roots. Keep our families safe. Leave glass at home. And put your aluminum cans in the LSU recycling bins. LSU is a leader in game day recycling efforts. Let's all work together to keep LSU beautiful. Thanks, Tiger fans.
Well, that was a 6-play, 15-yard drive for LSU that used 2 minutes and 31 seconds. Justin Vincent with a 1-yard run, and the point after by Cole David. And LSU now has a commanding 33-0 lead with 14:53 to go in the ball game. The Rue House, located at 143 3rd Street, has karaoke every Wednesday night, live bands every Friday and Saturday, and a piano bar every Tuesday and Thursday. Go by and see them. LSU will wrap it up and then try to play in the SEC championship game versus the Georgia Bulldogs for the second time in 3 years when they entertain Arkansas next Friday at 1:30. Jordy's got a stat for us.
Here's one that even Patrick Wright can't. The great statistician that he is. 3 LSU footballs have been lost in the stands after point-afters or field goals. The Ole Miss Rebel fans just take them and run with them. How about that?
Well,
Doug, should they charge him for those?
Souvenirs.
Send a bill back to him?
Jackson advances and hits it, and he hit it well. It is taken at the 4, back to the 5, to the 10. And there he goes, 15-yard line. That's about it. There's nobody going to get past the 15-yard line tonight much. And Stelz was down there.
And Jacob Hester.
And
number 33, Jason Spadoni.
Spadoni also was down there. Burnell Wallace on the return, but there's Ole Miss starting at the 16 again. Just tremendous special teams play. All right, here are receivers flanked on both sides and a lone running back. Spurlock, I believe, is back in at quarterback. Kendrick, play action fake, and Spurlock will throw it. It's complete over on the near side, and that is Lane, and he is punished as he didn't quite get back to the line of scrimmage.
John Zenon and Kenneth Hollis together.
Really punished him.
Whoa, they squeezed him. Robert Lane knows he got hit on that play. He caught the bootleg pass out in the flat and got back right to the line of scrimmage, but he paid for it as Ole Miss has 2nd and 10. Clock continues to run, which is really what I think they ought to try to do. It's not going to get warmer tonight, is it?
No, not tonight. 2 receivers right and 1 left. Kendrick is the running back. Spurlock drops straight back to throw, being pressured, runs out of the pocket, coming to the near side, tucks it and runs it down the near sidelines and out of bounds. And I believe he got the first down. That's a good run by Spurlock, and one of the longer runs from scrimmage for Ole Miss tonight. Glenn Dorsey ran him out of bounds, and Tigers have Brandon Washington, who is down on the near sidelines, and we'll keep our fingers crossed that he is not badly injured. Let's go down to Jordan.
Well, for the first time all season, the locker room, the training room at halftime was completely empty. Not one player, thank goodness, had any problem whatsoever. We'll give you an update on Brandon Washington. He got blocked, blindsided by Robert Lane as he was pursuing Spurlock. And hopefully just got the wind knocked out of him. We'll see.
He's up on his feet now, and I think maybe that's what happened. He is walking across the field. He's a big guy, 6'4", 300-pound senior. In case those of you are interested in other SEC action, Clemson did beat South Carolina tonight. Georgia Tech is leading Miami 14-10 in the 4th quarter.
And possible implications there for the LSU Tigers.
Big time. 1st and 10, Ole Miss. Receivers both sides. Lone running back, Spurlock, the quarterback. Antonio Turner, we are told, is the new running back. And Spurlock back to throw, lobs it way downfield, and that's not close. down around the LSU 45 on the far side of the field. Hill was the intended receiver. Ronnie Prude was back there along with Zenon, and they had him double covered, but the pass was not close. And it stops the clock with 13:42 to play in the game.
LSU with a lot of other guys in there on defense. Tremaine Johnson, number 47. Glenn Dorsey's in at one of the tackles. Cam Bond still in at the middle linebacker, and Ollie Highsmith.
Kendrick is the lone running back now. 2 receivers right and 1 to the left. Spurlock has changed the play. Now he goes under center. Drops back to throw, throws it quickly, and throws it way over everybody's head. Somebody may have gotten a hand on it that deflected it way up around the 45-yard line. It wasn't close to anybody. Espy was in that area, but it'd be difficult to say the pass was intended for him.
Good lesson they learned, though. The 3-step drop, get your hands up, and particularly with a guy like Spurlock, who's a short guy, and the ball just doesn't start out very high in the first place when it comes out of his hand. So LSU has learned as the season has gone along to do that, and it's helped them an awful lot to bat passes down.
Out of the shotgun, Spurlock back to throw, being chased, and he does throw it incomplete up around the 40-yard line. A diving attempt by number 7, that is Tay Biddle. Incomplete, brings up 4th down and 10. Tyrone Carey is coming in to receive the punt. And Mac Flynn will come in at quarterback.
For LSU is number 2.
Tigers' work is done. They lead it 33-0, and are on their way to a 9-1 record, 6-1 in conference play. Park standing back around the 15, and he hits it, a good one. Fair catch called for and taken by Tyrone Carey at the LSU 34-yard line. 38 yards on the punt and no return. LSU starts at their 38. Matt Flynn, 9 of 11 for 164 yards. He threw for 3 touchdowns on the year. We have a timeout in the game. 13:14 to go. It's all LSU, 33-0 over Ole Miss on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Ceda Daniels Race works in nanotechnology that will pave the way for a new generation of electronics.
John Tyler helps create software that lets radiologists view X-rays and MRIs more efficiently.
Roger Lane and Jennifer Lowe are revolutionizing the treatment of sinusitis with a test that detects fungus.
Roy Daka employs new technology to secure our nation's levees.
Sonia Wiley-Patton is working on technology to prevent human errors in the healthcare industry.
LSU. Mind power. At work for you.
During the past 73 years, the Southeastern Conference has established the most outstanding college football tradition in the country. The 12 member institutions have combined for an unprecedented 337 bowl appearances. Another key to the success of SEC football is the loyal support of the many fans who have helped the conference lead the nation in total attendance for 24 consecutive years. The SEC salutes the more than 6 million fans who will attend a game at an SEC stadium this year.
13:14 to go in the game. LSU leads at 33-0. The biggest new name in trucks is at your Nissan dealer, the full-size Nissan Titan, featuring a 305 horsepower, 5.6-liter V8 that hauls up to 9,500 pounds with a big tow package. The 2005 Nissan Titan. Think big at your local Nissan dealer and experience the Titan for yourself. The last LSU shutout in this series, you'll remember this one, Doug, 1985 in Jackson. LSU shut out Ole Miss 14-0. I mean, this series was played for many years in Jackson. Tyrone Carey stays in at running back, and Matt Flynn is the Tiger quarterback. Receivers on both sides. Carter is flanked to the near side. Brazil to the far side. Flynn under center, looks over the line of scrimmage, which is the 33-yard line of LSU. And he hands the ball off to Tyrone Carey, and Carey slips up to about the 39-yard line. Nice gain over the offensive right side, and Willis again makes the stop for Ole Miss. My gosh, that young man is just everywhere. Also in on the stop was Robinson.
And let's see who we have. Doug Blanchard's in at center.
Yeah, try to give as many names as we can.
Yeah, Pete Diakowski is at right tackle.
Mitt Cole is in at tight end. Receivers on both sides out of the I formation. Second down and about 3.5. Flynn tosses it to Carey, and he reverses his field coming to the near side and has the first down. Across the 45 up to the 46-yard line. Boy, it's fun to watch Chiron Carey carry the football. Clark, the free safety, made the stop. Carey was going to the far side, and there was nothing there. So he stopped on the dime, came back towards the near side, and got the first down.
Paris Hodges at left tackle, Jim number 78.
First and 10 for the Tigers. Receivers on both sides. I formation. Flynn under center. Drops back to throw. And he does throw it deep downfield. He's got a man there. It's caught. That's Benny Brazil. Touchdown! Holy cow! 55 yards.
Well, Benny Brazil, you know, you're thinking Ole Miss figures LSU's got these second-team guys in here. Thank goodness these guys won't have the kind of speed. So on the outside, LSU's got Xavier Carter on one side and Benny Brazil on the other side. My goodness. And they both ran right by the cornerback. Brazil ran right by the corner on the left side, just ran a streak. Matt Flynn laid it up perfectly for him, and Brazil made a very fine catch and then a run into the end zone.
All right, here is Cole David to tack on the extra point. And LSU leads it 40-0. 11:44 to go in the game on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Get the good stuff.
Hi, everybody. Jim Hawthorne here to tell you to get ready for holiday travel with Napa Auto Parts. The days are shorter this time of year, so make sure your headlights and wiper blades are working properly so you can see clearly. Napa has a complete selection of halogen and TrueView headlights and wiper blades to fit almost every vehicle on the road. And, of course, Napa is the place to go for holiday gift ideas. Napa, where you'll always get the good stuff, is a proud sponsor of the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Get the good stuff. Napa. Get the good stuff. Yep, there's nothing like that new car insurance smell.
Wouldn't it be great if you could test drive car insurance? Well, maybe you can.
Notice all the impressive standard features, and look how great it handles around those hairpin turns in your budget.
Check out the company 40 million other drivers trust, State Farm. No one gives more discounts to more drivers, and nobody takes care of you like a State Farm agent. So call one today and kick our tires. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Well, that was the longest offensive play of the year for LSU. A 55-yard pass from Matt Flynn to Benny Brazil. A 3-play, 67-yard drive that used a minute and a half. Cole David again kicked it through, and the Tigers are blowing away Ole Miss 40-0. All right, here's the kickoff, and that one is short, taken at about the 7, at the 10, and down at the 15-yard line. That's it.
When you let them have it at the 10 and they can't get it out past the 15, that's pretty decent coverage there, James.
Outstanding coverage. I think Daniel Francis was down there, one of them. Also down there to make the initial hit was Jeffrey Jack. Is that right?
That's it. That's it. He was down there, too.
All right, Ole Miss. It's incredible, the field position tonight. They will start at their 17. They've only been in LSU territory, I think, once tonight, I believe. Kendrick is the running back. Trips on the left, one to the right. And here is an end around going around the far side. And he gets a first down up to the 25-yard line. That's Mario Hill. They may have been
on the tackle
in LSU territory more than once, but I can't remember if they have. I think it's just one. That was right towards the end of the first half.
The 26-yard line, second down and 1 yard to go for the Rebels.
Second down and less than a yard to go for the Rebs at the 26. Luke Sanders, I think, was the man who made the stop. A lot of new defensive players are in there. I formation. Hill is in motion. And here is a handoff. And Kendrick I don't think he got the first down. I don't think he got back to the line of scrimmage.
25 is the ball carrier for Ole Miss.
As they stack him up, Daniel Francis.
On the tackle for LSU.
Spadoni in there.
Jason Spadoni was the man who made the stop, and they're signaling that it is third down. Kendrick has rushed it 12 times for 8 yards.
Third down, tonight. 1 yard to go for the Rebels.
3rd and 1 for the Rebels. From the 26-yard line. Ole Miss is going to drop to 3-7 on the year, with the date with Mississippi State in the Egg Bowl next week. 3 receivers flying left. Lone running back. And a quarterback sneak. I don't believe he made it. Spurlock on the quarterback sneak. And I do not think that he made it. It's going to depend on where they spot the ball. From here, it doesn't look like he got across the 25. And
they gave him a spot a little over it,
but it's still fourth down.
And 1 yard to go for Ole Miss.
Now, what do they do here?
Yeah, they're sending in the punt team.
Back to punt for the Rebels. Number 36, Rob Park.
Ole Miss crowd's booing Coach Orgeron for punting, but I think that's a smart move. I mean, LSU's going to move it on him. It looks like you might as well make him move it a long way.
All right, Park has been a busy man, standing back around the 11. Chiron Carey back to receive. Wobbly spiral, fair catch called for, and Carey takes it at the LSU 45. That's a 33-yard, 30-yard punt.
No return.
So the Tigers again with excellent field position to start. And they put it down right at the 44-yard line. And we still have 9:32 to go.
Ball at the 44-yard line.
In the ball game.
1st and 10, LSU.
What is the score?
40.
That's what I thought. The scoreboard had 46. And now they changed it back to 40.
Maybe they're anticipating this next play.
Well, maybe so. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. Lone running back, Matt Flynn, hands the ball off to Chiron Carey, and Carey is down after a gain of about 2 yards.
Chiron Carey is the ball
at the 46-yard line. And it'll be 2nd down and about 8. Don't forget, at the Tiger One Village next Friday, Brian Thomas made the stop. Cowboy Mouth will be performing beginning, I think, at 10 o'clock in the morning. So
ball at the 46-yard line.
That's a group that you'll definitely want to see. So come on out early. The weather looks like it's going to be outstanding. 2nd down and 8. 2 receivers right and 1 left. Chiron Carey, the running back, and Matt Flynn under center. Short drop. He throws it over the middle, complete to Early Doucette. And Doucette is stopped about a yard short of a first down at about the 47-yard line in Ole Miss territory. Let's go to Jordan.
Well, Doug Blanchard has once again shifted uniform numbers. He's been playing tight end, and now in the 4th quarter, he's gone back to the center position.
And
just thought you want to know.
Well, thank you. That is good to know. Patrick Willis again in on the stop for Ole Miss.
3rd down, about 1 yard.
3rd down and 1 for LSU at the Ole Miss 47-yard line. Tigers moving from left to right. Hester and Carey in the I formation in the backfield. Doucette the lone flanker on the near side. Flynn gives to Carey, and Carey has the first down. The little guy plows down to about the 45-yard line. Very nice job of running there by Carey, who's getting his opportunity here late in the game. Let's go down to Jordy.
Well, quite a night for Andrew Whitworth, who's sitting out now. He started his 49th consecutive game, sets an SEC record.
Yep.
He will start next game against Arkansas. No player has ever started 50 games for a school. That's amazing.
That is amazing, and he will definitely do that.
Yes, he will.
1st and 10 LSU at the Ole Miss 45-yard line. Carey the running back, receivers on both sides. I formation, Flynn under center, and hands it to Carey, and Chiron is straight ahead for about 2. And then is thrown back across the 45-yard line. Carey, a 5'6", 195-pound senior. I think I mentioned earlier that Joe Adai would be back next year. Joe Adai is a senior, along with Chiron Carey. And speaking of seniors, next Friday will be senior day at LSU. You'll certainly want to be there if you don't have your tickets, although I think the Arkansas game is a hard sellout. I think they've got maybe some scattered singles, but that's about it. 6:50 and the clock is running. Left to play in the game. 40-0, LSU leads. Receivers on both sides carry the running back, Flynn under center. And he drops back to throw, and he does, and it's overthrown. Jacob Hester around the 40-yard line. He wasn't going to go very far anyhow because Banks was over on the coverage and was going to make the tackle. It's 3rd down and 9.
Boy, he could have flicked it out to the left. Sharon Carey was out there. Ole Miss had shortchanged themselves on the coverage. They had one cornerback out there covering a post pattern deep downfield. Sharon Carey with no defender out in the left flat. Flynn chose to go to the primary receiver, Hester, who was open enough to make the reception. The pass not quite there.
And he'll work out of the shotgun here with 2 receivers on the right side and 1 on the left. There's a snap, and Ole Miss is sending a bunch of people. He rolls to the far side and throws it. It's tipped into the air and almost intercepted, but it drops incomplete. Ole Miss sent about 7 guys that time. And Haynes got his hand on it, knocked it away. And so LSU will punt it away. And they're sending in
Patrick Fisher.
Patrick Fisher, yeah. So that is not Chris Jackson. It's Patrick Fisher to punt it away. And Mike Espy is back deep for Ole Miss, standing around the 10-yard line. Low snap, but he gets it away. Nice wobbly spiral. Fair catch called for, and Ole Miss will start guess where? About the 13-yard line.
30-yard punt by Fisher. 1st and 10 Ole Miss at the 14.
I think they'll actually put it at the 14, and we'll take the timeout with 6:12 left to go on a frosty night now here in Oxford. LSU 40, Ole Miss nothing, and the LSU Sports Radio Network.
On this edition of the Ford Fan Guide, a dicey demonstration of F-150's interior quietness.
Next time you're parked just outside the swamp in your F-150, roll down your window and try this one on for size. Hey, Florida, you
What did you say?
Okay, window up. Yeah, but times like this, you really appreciate best-in-class interior quietness.
Don't be a fan without a Ford. See your local Southern Quality Ford dealer today for a great deal on F-150.
Warning, calling other fans could result in bodily injury. Hit it!
Ford, stick it to the jolly good gas station. Stick it to the jolly good gas station. Stick it to the jolly good gas station, which nobody can deny.
Yep, Citgo has been getting people where they need to go for 40 years now. Because if you're driving somewhere, you pretty much have to buy gas. And if you have to buy something, you may as well buy it from nice people who treat you like a neighbor, not just a customer. Citgo, helping people get where they need to go for 40 years and counting.
6:12 to go in the game. Some interesting stuff that Patrick keeps passing along to me. The biggest margin for LSU in this series since the Tigers beat Ole Miss 45-0 in 1976 in Baton Rouge. Now that's nearly 30 years ago. The last time LSU held an opponent under 100 yards in an SEC game was the 90 yards that Auburn got in 1973. Ole Miss has 85 to this point. So it's been a big night offensively and defensively for the Tigers. Lots of basketball coming up. Monday night, the men, John Brady's men, who got off to a rousing start with a 26-point win last night over Southern, will play Nicholls State on Monday night, and then Pokey Chapman's Lady Tigers will open up the home season on Tuesday night versus the Southern Lady Jacks. Both of those games will tip off at 7 o'clock, and then both of those teams will be on the road Thanksgiving weekend. Patrick will be off down in Miami with the Lady Tigers, and Kevin Ford will be in the mountains of West Virginia, in Morgantown. John Brady's team takes on West Virginia next weekend following the final regular season football game. So lots of action coming up on the LSU Sports Radio Network. I formation, receivers on both sides. And it is Spurlock who drops and rolls to the near side. He's being chased. He will cock and throw it way downfield, and it's overthrown. down around the LSU 40 in the direction of Mario Hill. Daniel Francis back defending for the Tigers along with Greg Stilts.
Number 87, Mario Hill is in.
And Mario Hill down on the ground. Don't know if he pulled a muscle or if Daniel Francis landed on him or exactly what. He's stayed down after he dove for the reception. And looks like he's in some pain there. They're looking at his shoulder, I think his left shoulder. This would indicate, I think, a dislocation of that shoulder.
Well, I hope he's all right. He's a good player. He works hard.
Yeah, it's an ankle.
Here's another interesting stat. LSU has outscored its opponents from the state of Mississippi this year, 77-7. That's pretty good. Ole Miss and Mississippi State combined. 2nd and 10. 2 receivers left and 1 right. Spurlock again rolls to the near side and tosses it out complete. Some running room this time, and down at the 25-yard line. Close. Well, he's got a first down. Espy gets the first down at the 25-yard line.
First down. Ole Miss.
5:43 left to play in the ball game. Mario Stevenson made the stop for LSU. Lone receivers on both Southern Cal trailing tonight, 7-0, but trailing Fresno State early in the ball game. Right ahead to about the 30-yard line for a 3-yard gain on the carry is Antonio Turner for Ole Miss. Fresno State now is not chopped liver. They're ranked.
No, and their only losses to Oregon, who were leading 17-0, and Oregon's ranked.
Yeah.
On the tackle for the Tigers, number 35, Luke Sanders.
With 6:41 left to go in the game, Miami is threatening but still trailing Georgia Tech.
Second and about 5
Ole Miss now has 5 total yards rushing in the ball game, with a 2nd and 5 here from the 30-yard line. Turner is the lone running back. And back rolling to the far side to throw the ball. It is incomplete. Spurlock rolling to the right side this time. Threw it in the direction of Lane, incomplete. And it stops the clock with 4:44 to play in the game. 40-0.
5 yards to go.
LSU leads.
From the 31.
Tigers started off with a unique scoring play, a safety. But Ole Miss quarterback Flat fumbled in the end zone and recovered. Got it off to a 2-0 start and has never looked back. Receivers on both sides. Turner the running back. Spurlock straight back to throw this time. Steps up in the pocket, throws, complete. Slipping one tackle and another. Coming down the near sidelines and out of bounds in LSU territory at the 48-yard line is Mike Espy. That is 21 yards. That's the biggest play of the night offensively for Ole Miss. The Tiger #1 defense had totally and completely shut down Ole Miss. Kieran Gordon made the stop, but little mop-up duty here late in the 4th quarter, and are getting into some plus yardage.
Well, LSU's guys are not going to be happy with that because a couple of people had Espy in their arms for the tackle about the line of scrimmage. Let him escape to the outside. He's a good player, but, you can tackle him.
Spurlock back to throw. Has plenty of time. Rolling to the far side. He does throw. A man is absolutely wide open. Makes the catch. That is Espy at the LSU 36-yard line.
Sammy Joseph.
In front of Sammy Joseph. These are guys that just haven't hardly played at all. And Ole Miss beginning to move the ball on them just a little bit.
1st and 10 Rebels at the 36-yard line of LSU.
This is the deepest penetration, I think, that Ole Miss has had tonight. Now Ole Miss has gone from 85 yards to 140, just in the bat of an eye. LSU 357 yards. Lone running back, receivers on both sides. Lane in motion. Spurlock straight back to throw, being chased. Throws it over, complete on the screen play, and down to the LSU 30. Fumble. Picked up by Ole Miss. Now recovered by LSU, I believe.
And no, bounced out of bounds. It's going to end up being Ole Miss ball.
I'll be doggone.
Unless LSU had possession of it at some point in time.
No, from here, here's what happened. He caught the ball and fumbled it. It was picked up by an Ole Miss player. He fumbled it. It looked like an LSU player fell on it, but Doug is saying that we'll watch it on the replay again. Here it goes. There's the original fumble, and it's on the ground. Ole Miss picks it up.
Ole Miss tackle tried to pick it up, and LSU
just knocked it out of bounds.
Yeah, had a chance at it at the recovery and batted it out of bounds in making the attempt. So
fumbles on the play. The second fumble was fumbled forward out of bounds. We'll bring the ball back to the spot of that fumble at the 21. It'll be 1st and 10.
The gain is to the LSU.
All right, you heard that. So it is 1st and 10 for Ole Miss at the LSU 21-yard line. And the clock is under 4 minutes to go now.
And Ryan Willis in the game now. Ryan Willis plays an awful lot. He's taking Tremaine Johnson's place at the right defensive end spot, the outside linebacker.
3 receivers on the left side. Spurlock is being chased. He throws. It's complete over on the near side, but not any place to go. The pass is complete to Tay Biddle. And he's knocked out of bounds as he just about got back to the line of scrimmage, but it stops the clock with 3:38 to play in the game. Mario Stevenson made the stop for LSU. 40-0, the Tigers. Pitching a shutout, but Ole Miss is at the Tiger 21 and desperately trying to get on the board.
Second down and 9 yards to go from the 20.
Been a while since we've seen Mario Stevenson, isn't it?
Yeah, it has. Matter of fact, I thought about that the other day. Good to see him out there. Receivers on both sides, an I formation. Spurlock under center. Play action fake, drops the throw, being chased. The Tiger defender fell down. Here's a pass. It is incomplete. In and out of the hands of Robert Lane, who was in the end zone. Had he been able to hang on, that would have been a touchdown, but he couldn't hang on. And it'll be 3rd down now. It's pretty well thrown by Spurlock, who's shown us that he's got a pretty good arm.
Well, he's a good runner. I tell you, he's very, very quick.
3rd down,
he's
9 yards to go.
Not very tall, which makes it difficult to be a pocket passer, but he's extremely quick and is able to and has gotten outside of LSU's rushers an awful lot. Robert Lane, really with a chance to make a great catch, and I think had possession temporarily, and as he went to tuck the ball after he got in the end zone, it fell out.
Spurlock back to throw again, and he fires it, and it is batted away. Down around the 5-yard line, stepping in front was Sammy Joseph, who had a chance to pick that thing off, but he just got a hand out and knocked it away. I believe the intended receiver was Biddle. Down around the 5-yard line. Now it's 4th and 10.
Well, this is the play now. 4th and 10. If LSU can stop them here, I think the Tigers will just try to go ahead and kneel it as much as possible. If they can make one first down, they can run the clock.
3:19. The clock is stopped. Left to go in the game. 40-0. LSU leads. 2 receivers right and 1 left. Out of the shotgun. Spurlock waiting on the football. And here come the Tigers. He steps up in the pocket and throws. The SB's got it for a first down at the LSU 7-yard line, and the tackle is made by Sammy Joseph. So it is 1st and goal to go for Ole Miss.
Well, the little challenge in the game now is, can we keep them from scoring? 3:02 remaining in the game. LSU up 40-0, but Ole Miss with the ball at the 7-yard line, 1st and goal, and LSU's got a bunch of backup defensive guys in there who've let them get to this point from the other end of the field, and certainly would like to make a stand so that they can make a statement.
2 receivers right and 1 left out of the shotgun. Spurlock back to throw, has a lot of time, does throw, incomplete at the goal line. He tried to force it into double coverage, and it was knocked away and stops the clock with 2:35 to go. Boy, the pace of this game has really, really slowed down now. Brooks was the intended receiver, as Ole Miss is throwing on just about every down. It's about as few people in a stadium at the end of a game as I've ever seen. I mean, there's just really not very many people here. Receivers on both sides and a lone running back. Spurlock under center for Ole Miss. He throws it over on the near side, complete, and in for the score is number 7, Tay Biddle. He got it in front of Mario Stevenson. Stevenson and ran it in on him, and the Rebs break the eye center on the board.
Well, Stevenson on the goal line now. The ball was thrown just to the outside to Tay Biddle on the left side. Stevenson stayed in the end zone like he was kind of shadowing him. It doesn't do much good to shadow him after he crosses the goal line. He needed to come up and make the hit at about the 8 or 9 yard line where Biddle was. And I think the coaches will correct Stevenson on that, but he gave up the touchdown.
And there's a try for the point after, and it is good by Hinkle. And so with 2:28 left to play in the game, LSU 40 and Ole Miss 7 as the Rebs score on the LSU reserves.
Well, you got to give an awful lot of credit to Michael Spurlock. He came in the game in a real tough situation. Ethan Flatt, who had been harried the whole night. And now LSU, of course, their second defensive guys have been in there a good bit of the time against Spurlock. But Spurlock escaped an awful lot, got to the outside. He avoided rushes, and he started throwing pinpoint passes, was very accurate with most of his passes, and has drove the Rebels down the field to get their touchdown, which gives them a little solace as this game's going to be won by LSU clearly in a very fine effort by LSU. But if you're an Ole Miss guy and you're looking for something positive, you say, well, Michael Spurlock played well and we didn't quit. We played hard, and you got to say that. I mean, that is a fact of the matter.
Yeah, and to try to build a little momentum going into that big rival game next week against Mississippi State, and Ole Miss has a chance to win that ball game.
And it's good to see that effort. Frankly, you like to see a team as far down as they were in this game, as much as they had been outplayed, to have a chance to get in there and play. LSU, meanwhile, 2:28 remaining in the game. And rarely do you see this, Jim, between after a touchdown for a team to call a timeout to get additional time. Because there is a timeout, of course, after a touchdown where the TV is running commercials and that type of thing. I think Coach Bradley Dale Pivito has got probably some different guys in there that he wants to put in who don't normally play on the return team, and giving them whatever instructions that they need. Ole Miss perhaps thinking about an onside kick because with 2:28 remaining in the game, down 40-7. I'm thinking, you think they can score enough to win the game?
Don't think so, no. Let me give the play drive. 13 plays, 86-yard drive for Ole Miss, and they took 3:44 off the clock to do it. Georgia Tech still ahead of Miami by 4 with less than 4 minutes to play in that one. Right at 3 minutes to play. As a matter of fact, and there is a pop-up, and it's taken by Jacob Hester, and Hester returns it down to the Ole Miss 43-yard line. Oh, that was a very good effort by Jacob Hester. They just kicked it to the wrong guy.
Yeah, well executed. Hester's got good hands, and he's a tough guy. And he took it, turned it back upfield, picked up a few yards, and LSU takes possession at the Ole Miss 42. I would suspect, Jim, that they're just going to go ahead and try to get this game over.
Yeah, I would think so. Just run the ball, and let the folks that are still here, that are not frozen to their seats, go find some warmth somewhere. Two receivers on the left side. Lone running back, that is Hester. Flynn under center, and he hands it to Hester, and Hester's got some running room to the outside. He's at the 25-30. A flag goes down. That one will come back. Hester, a nice run down to the 25-yard line. But they'll bring it back because there was a penalty against LSU. So Hester lines up at tailback. He has played tailback and fullback, and is a great member of the special teams.
Number 78 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat first down.
Did he say 78? That was Paris Hodges, yeah. Okay. First and 20 for LSU from midfield. With less than 2 minutes now to play on this one. LSU 40, Ole Miss 7. Carter and Bo is back in there now and will flank out to the right side. Split back formation. Carter in motion. Flynn hands it up the middle, and this Hester again down to the Ole Miss 47 or 48-yard line.
Is number 18, Jacob Hester.
Sheriff Fields made the stop for Ole Miss.
Number 49.
Sheriff Fields is in.
What you're trying to say.
Sheriff Fields, it was a receiver in. It looked like 80 initially as he was coming out to line up, but it's 86.
All right. That was.
We never really found out, though, what happened to Dwayne Bowe. You know, he came off after the drop.
Yeah.
And he hadn't been in the game since then, but he limped off. Right. After it, I don't know if he injured a knee on the play, which may have accounted for why he lost concentration on the pass. If he landed on his leg wrong right before the ball got there because he lost his concentration, as you mentioned, Jim, looked like he just stopped running. Yeah. Right at the tail end.
Might have pulled a hamstring or something.
Yeah.
Well, it is second down and 15. I have no idea why Ole Miss would call a timeout. With a minute 25 to play in the game, trailing 40-7. But they did. Tigers winning their 8th straight ball game. Lone loss, the 3-point loss to Tennessee in overtime. Receivers on both sides, out of the I formation. Flynn tosses the ball, and this is Carey, I believe, around the near side, and he slips down to make sure he stays in bounds, and that's a very smart move.
Smart play.
Very smart play. He just sort of slid down to keep the clock running with a minute 10 to go in the game.
And you know, in days past, there were times that Sharon Carey wouldn't have done that.
That's right.
Because he wouldn't have thought of it. You love to see the guys growing up a little bit, maturing and thinking about things during plays as they're executing. Very fine play because he keeps the clock running, and that's what LSU wants to do, is get the game over with.
Yeah, and they can do that here. 46 seconds left in the game. Third down, unless Ole Miss calls a timeout to stop it, to get the ball back. One more time. Receivers on both sides. I formation. Flynn hands it away. This is Carey, got running room. 25-30. That is 35-30. Still running at the 25. He is slammed down, but he got the first down, and that'll do it. 23 seconds left to play in the game, and the Tigers only have to make one more snap. He was pulled down by Bryant Thomas. The Tigers will probably take a knee, or maybe they won't even have to snap it. If they start the clock, which they have, they won't snap it. And that will be it, and a thorough and convincing win here tonight for the fourth-ranked team in the nation. LSU Fighting Tigers, as the clock ticks down, win it tonight, and are one-half game now behind. Win over the Ole Miss Rebs, and the Tigers now with a win over Arkansas next Friday in the